Well, piece of shit. I want to give it a few minutes for those who are going to start the video, watch the replay of it. We'll give everybody a few minutes. Probably ain't going to be a whole lot of people showing up to this anyway. I don't know how long it might last, but because I don't know who's going to show up. And I just hope they enjoy the view. Beautiful weather, the sunshine, and it's 76 degrees. What a wonderful day to drive. The good thing is, when I'm done here and deliver this early in the morning, I'm going home for a week. I'll officially get it started here when I get past this scale house, because they'll probably call my ass in. Then I'll get to that in a minute. Oh! 2 times in a row. See how they're calling everybody in there? They were hoping they were going to get bypassed like me. Nope. This is the second time I've gotten bypassed. And I'll get to all this in a minute. See, you don't want your equipment to look too clean. But you also do not want it to look real shitty either. You got to find that balance. You want to look good, but not too good. Because if your truck is too clean and your rubber is all shiny from, Armor All or whatever they're doing, they're like, I'm going to call this guy in. Look at that, man. They called all them drivers in. But now I got to move over, give up that lane so they can all get back on the highway. I think I got one more scale house to hit before I reach my destination so I can deliver this load. I deliver 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, United States. That would be 12:30 in the afternoon, Filipino time. And look at that, man. I've been doing this now, going on 3 minutes, over 3 minutes now. In case you were wondering, that you come in here and you watch the replay, this started early this morning at 6 a.m. Called the 72-hour DOT Blitz. That means nationwide, not all, because sometimes some of them won't, but nationwide, all scale houses are open, and they're pulling drivers in. It may not necessarily, for the most part, not be about too much weight on an axle or being overweight on the truck. They're looking for violations. Any way they can do it. They pull you in that scale house, you go across the scale, you check out and everything. They're looking at you through their window, through your windshield or side glass window, looking at you to decide, oh, do I want to mess with this guy or not? Well, they've messed with a lot of people this morning. That first scale house that I hit before coming into Indiana, man, they had this guy's clothes laid out all over the pavement, and they tore his truck up. If there was a door on that truck, it was open. Like I said, they can mess with you. They're looking for illegal substances, alcohol. Regardless if it's an open container or not, you cannot have alcohol of any form on your truck. Like, for instance, mouthwash. One of my favorites is Listerine. It has alcohol in it. So you can't have that on your truck. Yes, they'll seize it and they'll write you a nice ticket as a violation. And we're not talking, $50 to $100. No, we're talking several $100s. You're in violation at a scale house. You're not getting away cheap. If they had the dog on him, the dog hit on something, they tear up his truck looking for it. They'll even pull off the side panels of the truck just to see if you got a stash in between the walls of your truck. Yeah, they can do that. And you know what happens afterward? You got to clean up their mess that they made of your truck and your shit. Why? Because they don't care. Their objective is to get as much money as they can out of you. Well, I've been bypassed twice because they ain't even going to look at me. And they could tear my truck up all they want. They're not going to find nothing. The only thing I have on here of substance is my vitamins and one prescription that is mine. And it's not a narcotic. Now, if I was taking a prescription that was a narcotic, I would not be able to drive a truck. That would disqualify me. You do not take a narcotic, like a Tylenol 3. You can't do that. That's a violation. But if you have a prescription, hopefully some people take it out of the bottle and put it in a different one. But that prescription better be in the bottle with your name on it. Because if it's not, they're going to seize it. And how they decide to go from there, I have no idea. So I've never had to deal with that. They're going to make sure every light that is attached to your truck is operational. The tread depths of all your tires are above the legal limit. The air pressure, the thickness of your brake shoes, your slack adjusters. They're going to look at everything. I heard that they were going to be looking at, your ABS system this year. Somebody mentioned it. That usually is never wrong, but if you have a sensor issue, get it fixed, because you can argue that, well, your ABS system's down. Well, you can have a faulty sensor too. How you doing, Leonard? I can't read the chat. As you can tell, I'm driving. And the granddaddy of them all, when they pull you in the scale house. If you're still on paper logs, which there is very few and far between people that are on paper logs, they can take your logbook and fuck you in the ass with it any way they can. They find a violation. They can go back 7 days from today. If you are in violation and in those 7 days, oh yeah, they're going to shut you down for 34 hours. And I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, there's a lot of radio chatter right now. I don't think no matter where you go in the country today, tomorrow, and the next day, during this 72-hour blitz, there's going to be radio chatter everywhere. Yeah, they're cussing. There's a lot of guys that are angry right now. Well, if you're driving a truck that has 2 axles on the pavement and 3 axles headed to the junkyard, maybe you ought to have shut down for the next 3 days, or get new equipment, or fix it. Because I know some owner-operators that have really old equipment that look like that. They belong in a junkyard. I'm about ready to get into Michigan. I'm on Interstate 94 heading towards Detroit. I deliver 12:30 in the morning in Newport, which is south of Detroit, at a Meijer. Once I get unloaded there, I'm taking my empty to Columbus, and then I'm going home. And I'll be home for about a week. And God knows I need time off because I rarely take time off. Hey, wait a minute. Hang on a second. I got something for you. I think, wait a minute. Not how you do it. Let me see here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to do some. Oh, there we go. Now I got it. Copy. All right. All right. Now how do I do this? Comment. Leonard, if you're still here, there's the link to the StreamYard. I'll be running this a little bit. Be having some fun today. Yeah, back in the day, they called your logbook a comic book. And believe me, a lot of retards would screw it up. Some of the more advanced guys, drivers, they would have three. One that they're actually doing, two that they show legal, that they showed to the people at the scale house, and the third one is legal that they showed to their dispatch. That's the way things were back then. And a lot of guys, man, I hated it. Sitting at a damn truck stop restaurant while you're trying to eat and fill out your logbook. No, I'm not into that. That's why I really enjoy the e-logs now. All I got to do is hit a couple of buttons and I'm done. It does it all for me. Yeah, my first couple of years of me driving, they didn't have e-logs. We heard about them, but they were implementing them, but we didn't get them yet. So I was on paper logs then. Now you have to have a logbook with you at all times, even though you don't have to fill it out. That's in case your Qualcomm goes down. You're going to have to do your own logbook, paper logs. But very rarely does a Qualcomm ever go down. Hey, I'm Kyle Kleppa. Whoops. Yeah, put that there. Wait a minute. Yeah, just having a good old time today. Let everybody see what's going on. I-95 eastbound in Indiana. In the next few couple of minutes, I'll be crossing into Michigan. And then I'll cut across the state over Dexter. I'll shut down at the TA in Dexter for a little while, and then I'll drive over to that Walmart and park in the bullpen. Wait for them to call me to a door. That's one place I like delivering to because they got a bullpen. You can park there overnight. Hey, Leonard, I put it in the bottom left of the screen. That's the link if you don't see it in the chat. Let me see if I can drop it again. There we go. I think I put it in there again. Because there's nobody doing a live stream that I know of. So I said, what the hell? I might as well do it. DOT Blitz started this morning. I've been kept out of the excitement. Been through two scale houses and they bypassed me. I didn't even have to pull in. Ah, there we go. Hi, Leonard.
Hey, how are you, Sean?
Good. I don't feel like I have to do all the talking all the time.
Hey, you're better at it than I am.
Yeah. It's amazing. I was north of Houston there 3 days ago.
Yeah.
I was delivering in the Dallas area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like 3 or 4 hours away, though.
Mm-hmm. I came down 30, went through Texarkana, and then stayed the night, and then went and delivered. And then I had
Well, you were going to Fort Worth, weren't you?
yeah. Well, I can't remember the name of it. Northeast of Fort Worth. It's between Dallas and Fort Worth. I can't remember the name of the place.
Okay, I can't either. But
And then I deadheaded. Oh yeah, I deadheaded back to Dallas and picked up a Tyson load, and I took it to Sterling, Illinois, the Walmart.
okay.
I delivered there yesterday, and once I got delivered there at the Walmart, it was drop and hook. I deadheaded from there about an hour east of there to Rochelle at the Petro, and I stayed there, got my dispatch, and so I picked up where I grew up as a child. I lived in this town from the age of 1 to about 4.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a town called Wilmington, Illinois. There's a
I've heard
U.S.
of it.
coal. Yeah, there's a U.S. coal there, right off of Route 66. It goes right through Wilmington, Illinois. Yeah. And it's down the street from the house I lived in. That's
Wow.
why I loved going there.
Yep.
I got a load out of there a couple hours ago, and now I'm headed to Newport, south of Detroit. There,
Yeah.
delivered to the Myers warehouse at 12:30 in the morning, and once I'm unloaded there, I take my empty to Columbus, and I'm going home.
Okay, that's good. You can use a little break.
Yes, I think my record is 8 months without
Wow.
seeing home. But after that third or fourth month, it's like, man, this is really. I
Well,
need some
yeah,
time
you're
off.
missing your kids, and it's
Yeah.
steady work, and that's I've done.
Yeah.
I'm not driving, of course, but
Yeah.
I've
Welcome
done
to
that
Pure
kind of
Michigan.
deals.
If you saw my screen, it said, "Welcome to Pure Michigan,
Yep.
birthplace and home to Ted Nugent, Madonna, Bob Seger, Insane Clown Posse, Kid Rock." There's a lot of big stars musicians that came out of the state.
Yep.
I remember that old song "Fire Lake" by Bob Seger,
Oh, yeah.
and I passed by there about 3 years ago. I'm like, "Oh, I'll be damned! There's Fire Lake." I was wanting to know if it was a real place.
Yeah.
Let's all go to Fire Lake.
Turns
I
out
didn't
most
know
of
it
those
was.
places are real. Just they're
Uh huh.
small and out of the way, and nobody knows about them.
Yeah. Okay, this one I gotta pull in this scale house. If it's open, if it's closed, I go. I'm
Yeah.
not getting bypassed on this one. Nah, Michigan, man. You know they're gonna. There's some of these drivers. They're gonna pull out that big ass dildo, and they're going in without KY. Oh, believe me, the language has gotten real bad on the radio. I just turned it
Yep.
down.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a heads up, man. That scale house is open up there, man. They got the guy's drawers laid all over the pavement. And I looked, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned, man. Every door of his truck was open. You know,
That can't be
okay,
good.
yeah, shit. Okay, it's open, and I got to go in. So here's the deal. I don't want to give them anything to bitch about.
Right.
Leonard, take
Yes.
over. I'm not going anywhere. I got to take my headset off and put my phone down. All right,
Okay.
and I got to roll down the window.
Now
So
I
I'll be
don't know
right.
what to say.
Just talk about anything. It'll only take but a second, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know you, Kyle, but nice to meet you. Um, I've been a friend of Sean's for quite a while now. Ah, Babes in Toyland, how are you? Nice to see you there. Just got to figure out what to say now.
Yeah, they gave me the green light.
All right.
Yeah, see, they can pull you in like they did and give you an arrow. To the right,
Uh,
to my right is the scale, and
yeah.
I'm in the bypass lane. I only
All right.
got 20. I got like 19,800 and some odd pounds
Oh,
of
you're running light.
frozen food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just pulling everybody in to get a closer look at you.
Yeah. See if they got a notification from a cop down the road you're going too
Uh,
fast or something, huh?
yeah, well, a lot of states and a lot of times they see the side of our trailer says Prime Inc.
Uh huh.
They're like bypass. They don't even look at us because we have the best equipment in the business.
Yeah.
And yes,
I know.
I'm an owner operator, but I take care of my equipment.
Right. Well, it's your livelihood, man. You got to.
hmm The only thing that I got, I think, if it's a violation, is I have a chicken light that's out. One out of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, listen.
Leonard,
Yes.
if you see, because you're the only one that can really look at chat for me. If you see Sammy or anybody else we know, just tell them to look in the chat and let me know. I'll repost the link
Okay.
to come up to the panel.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen them yet. Babes in Toyland's here.
Uh, yeah, if I can't remember if I met Babes before or not. Because there's
Yeah.
some people I met long ago, and then I haven't
Yeah.
seen them in a long time and forgot about them.
Well, I see Babes on a couple other channels.
Thanks for
I think.
coming, Babes. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think. I think I see him on Blessed Life.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where I see her.
Boggs is a good man.
Yes. I think an awful lot of him.
hmm And I got to trying to wrap my head around it. He speaks 3 languages that I know of: Tagalog,
Right.
German, and English.
Oh, I didn't know he spoke
Like, like
Tagalog.
I think he does. He's Filipino.
Oh, yeah, he must.
I was just
Oh,
guessing.
I
You
meant
know,
German. I'm sorry. I didn't know he spoke German.
well, he went to school over in Germany,
Oh, okay, I see.
and they teach English there. That's why most of your Germans they'll speak English and German,
Right.
just like the Philippines. They speak English and their
Yeah.
dialect of Filipino.
Yeah. And
Japan,
some of them speak several dialects.
some Japan is starting to catch up
Yeah.
to where a lot more people speak English there
Yep.
than in the past. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, he said it's Mel's channel. Yeah, I never for a year. I known her for over a year and never knew her real name. I think I was the last one to know.
I can't remember it.
I met her like 3 days after Des told me to go to hell. Well, actually, she didn't tell me to go to hell. Literally, we had talked things over and everything was fine. It's just I guess us talking it out and talking it over didn't work, and she didn't want to talk to me again after that, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, why talk it over with me and discuss it and try act like you're forgiving and forget, and then not say a word to me again.
That's pretty much how my divorce went.
And then I met Bless 3 days later, and that's when the rumors all got started about me and Sammy.
Yeah.
That's that rumor still goes around, and it's like, uh, she's been with Robert for over a year and a half now,
Yep.
and I'm like,
And they openly talk about it. So
yeah, and it's like, I mean, well, I knew it 8 months before they let everybody know about it. I already knew about it.
I suspected it. I didn't know it, but I suspected it.
It's just they told me not to say anything, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm good at that. I can act dumb if I need to, and I did. Everybody thought I didn't know. Oh yeah, I already knew.
Yeah.
And that right there proves that I'm the type of person that can keep a secret.
That's a valuable asset.
That's why everybody in my family always talks to me about things because they know I keep my mouth shut. And
Yeah.
I tell them honestly, I said, a lot of times I forget about it anyway.
Yeah.
But if you mention it, oh then yeah, I'm going to start talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess in the Filipino world, I'm not the one for chismis. I mean, I'll listen, but
Well,
I
yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not much of a gossip either.
Yeah, I don't retain it. Information like that. Hang on one second. Got a gator in the right lane there, fellas. That means that there's a tire shred.
No.
There's a tire tread in the right lane here. I had to move over a little bit, giving everybody a heads up behind me, because when you look at it from a distance, it does. It looks like the back of an alligator. Like earlier, somebody blew a tire and there was pieces laid out all over the highway.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
slowing down. I popped my four ways and I was south of Chicago. And I told everybody on the radio, but back off, everybody. We got Rubbermaid all over the interstate here.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, to let people know about stuff like that. Might save a bad incident.
And she got the name Melody. She sings, but she don't have melody. But she's got rhythm though. She's got rhythm though.
Maybe that's half of it.
Yeah. And she's the only Filipino that gets my sense of humor.
Yeah.
When I say make a joke, I slip it by some people. She actually gets it, and some people don't.
Yeah.
No, and hardly any Filipinos ever get it, but she does. She understands my sense of humor. Because when I went over there in Japan and the Philippines, I was my sense of humor. I was dead. Because nothing's more funnier when you don't. I tell a joke that would bring the house down here in the States. I
Yeah.
told it over there. Everybody's looking at me like this guy's weird.
Yeah.
But nothing's more funnier when you tell a joke like that and you don't get the laugh. They'll come up and ask you intelligently, I know you told a joke, but can you explain it a little bit more? And that there in itself is funny.
Yep.
They're like, you're the only Western. Some of them that I was able to speak, at least half-hearted English in Japan. I was talking to him. He goes, "You're very friendly as a Westerner. You don't, you don't pick on our language." I said, "I no, I don't." I said, it doesn't sound like gibberish to me. I can make out words. I just don't know what they mean."
Yeah.
Well, not yet, anyway. I guess if you do hang around it long enough, you slowly start to pick it up.
Right.
And I think that's the first step. Being able to make out words, you just don't know what they mean. It doesn't sound like gibberish anymore to you.
Right. Well, it's like I tell the Filipinos I talk to that are always worrying about they don't speak English good. And I said the only way, the best way to learn it and get fluent in it is to speak it more.
Oh, yeah. Hey, babes, when I was up in Canada, I went to a comedy club in the Toronto area. I can't remember where the hell I was. I was with some friends that went to a hockey game. But we went to this comedy club. Everybody loved my humor except for the French. They hated the French. The French, they hated me.
Yeah. They don't
Number one, I wasn't speaking in their language, but I was picking on their linguistics, though. That was the first linguistics war I started. It was the French. They're so far on left field.
Yep.
They're like, where Marie Antoinette gave up the ultimate head. Ah! I said, hey, man, the French got it right. They could never win a war throughout human history. But one thing they did win, their own revolution. Oh, they hated that. But everybody else, the other Canadians, they were dying laughing.
Yep. That sounds about right.
I mean, I told him, I said, I got a friend that lives in France, Cadell. He lives in France. He's got a daughter named Sandrine. I mean, I loved France. It was great. But a lot of people, for the most part, the majority of the people I ran into, they seem to be a little bit stuck up.
That's
They have
kind of my
a stuck up
impression.
attitude.
That's kind of my impression from what all I've heard about France. I've never been there, so I can't really speak on it. But that's the impression I've gotten from people who have been there.
Yeah. Cadell was one of the exchange students that we got when I was in high school.
Okay.
Last 2 years of high school. He was my junior year. We got Cadell from France. Then he went home, and then we got Florent Rawl from Stuttgart, Germany.
Okay.
Good, intelligent boys. Shit, man. Cadell, he could speak a dozen languages. I'm like, how do you do that?
Oh, really? I'm having trouble trying to figure out how to speak Tagalog. Just out of self-defense,
But I learned a little more German. I mean, I heard my grandfather speak it, my dad's dad.
Yeah.
I really didn't pick it up. But when I, had Florent as a roommate for that whole year, he stayed in my room, and we became really close. And I came real close to Cadell.
Yeah.
And I went over to their country later in life, France and then Germany, to visit them.
Right.
And it was great. They almost became like family.
Oh, yeah.
And Florent taught me a lot of German. I didn't retain a lot of it, but
it would probably come back if you were around it for a while.
yeah, the last time I heard from Florent from Germany was back when, you remember in the news when Donald Trump hugged the flag?
Yeah.
And they were picking on him about, humping it or whatever. When he hugged the flag, and during his speech, he admitted he was a nationalist.
Yes.
As soon as he said that, I get a phone call. And it said Stuttgart, Germany. I'm like, oh, Florent. Picked it up, How you doing? He goes, yeah, I hate to call you in this capacity, but I'm watching what you're watching because I know you're watching it. And he goes, I go, yeah. He goes, you do realize what he just said there, right? And I'm like, unfortunately, yes, but I don't think the other Americans understood what he just said. And when you explain it to Americans, two things: they'll either be in denial, which mostly they'll be in denial,
Right.
or two, they're like, well, he didn't mean it that way. Well, there's only one way of meaning that. You can't mean this multiple ways when you say that you're a nationalist. And when I explain it to people, and the news, some of the people in the news, they threw it out there, but they didn't articulate why they were calling Donald Trump a Nazi. They needed to articulate that, explain to the people why, because people were like, oh, they'll be in denial. They're like, oh, you know, Nazi, and it's like, okay,
Well, they're
the
right.
word,
They would have been. They would be in denial.
yeah, and it's like, okay, the word Nazi is something that wasn't just made up. The German word for nationalist is National. In short, Nazi.
Right.
And when I explain this to people, they look at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, I'm not fluent in German, but I do know that that's what that means. And that's where it
Right.
comes from.
Right. Well, you're the one who told me the first time I ever heard it, and once you said it, it made sense.
Yeah.
Because
But,
I grew up, my grandmother's father was German Swiss, so he spoke a lot of German.
oh, yeah, the Germans, they got around
Yeah.
because they
Well,
were Vikings.
yeah. Well, France, I mean Switzerland was basically three languages. There's German, the Swiss language, and or German, French, and Italian.
Uh huh. Well, I do know along the border because I visited that town with Tiria and Trèves in France.
Uh huh.
It's a border town right there, French German border.
Yeah.
It's Trier in German and Trèves in French,
Yeah.
and both sides they speak French and German.
Well, that would make sense.
But that's where Karl Marx is from.
Uh huh.
And then when I mention that, people look at me like I just shot their dog, and
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
look, I'm like, you're going by old Cold War crap and told what to believe. Well, you don't know anything about that man.
Yep.
And I said, if I were to hand you his book Das Kapital and you were to read it, you'd get angry like I did. It's like, wait a
Right.
minute, this is important shit that we should have known. And we were told by people who didn't know either,
Yeah.
making a
They just
judgment on somebody.
right. They just were repeating what they were told.
Yes. And
Well,
I tell people when they read it, you're going to struggle. They have to come to terms with that to realize that you were lied to. Or if you
yep.
weren't lied to, you just weren't told, but you were told by people that they didn't even know.
Right.
Because it's a form of controlled censorship, and it was done on purpose.
Well, of course.
They were not going to allow that to be taught in schools.
No.
And I tell everybody that I continue about what happened in Germany and the Nazis back then.
Yeah.
The initials up on top of their flags that they had. It was the Deutsche National Sozialistische Arbeiterpartei, the German National Socialist Workers Party. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Now,
I
yeah,
remember that.
now you get some of these. Most of your Westerners will be like, "See, socialist." I'm
Yeah.
like, This is childish. I
Yep.
said they were not socialists. He had to put that in the title because the working class would have not have paid attention to him, and he would have been a nobody.
Yep.
He had to
Well,
have socialist
yeah.
there, but he
I
wasn't
don't,
socialist.
yep. I don't know if you're seeing the chat, but Babe says there's a lot of Germanic influences in the English language, and yes, that is true.
Oh
There,
yeah,
the English language is based on a large percentage on German roots.
well, there's a lot of European countries immigrated here,
Right.
and they were segregated, so to speak.
Right.
A lot of your Germans immigrated here. They went to the place that looks like Germany, which is Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Right. A
And when I
lot of
went to
a lot of Danish did also.
yeah, and when I went to Germany and I looked at it, I'm like, it does. It looks like Minnesota.
Yep. One of my one of my freshman football coaches was from Germany, and he he said the reason he came to my hometown is he says it's just like my hometown. He said,
Uh huh.
it looks very much the same. Of course, I'm from North Idaho, so
Uh huh.
it's got a lot of similarity to Wisconsin, except
Like
bigger mountains.
yeah, a lot of people that I live around in New Madison don't understand why a lot of French people visit what well what the people in my area in Ohio call Versailles.
Ah,
And I tried to explain to them, yes, we pronounce it Versailles, but in
just
French, because it's
Versailles,
the French,
right?
it's Versailles.
Right. Yep.
I said they come here because it's a sister town, what they call a sister town, and it's French backed. Some French person came into that town and created it, and named it after a town that they were from in France.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
You got a problem that way you stopped?
I had to piss
Oh, well then. Sorry I asked.
because in one of my talks that I give about economics, when I tell them about the French Revolution, 1789, and what took place and why it happened, I said they had their economic system pre 1789 was feudalism.
Yeah.
That means you had your serfs, that people like us
Right.
they called serfs,
Uh huh.
and then you had your feudal lords who collected the money from the serfs
Yep.
and the surplus and everything. And a lot of the French people were poor, like we
Yep.
are today, but worse off. We're getting there. But and my presentation, I say the serfs developed a vast surplus, which was collected by the feudal lords, and they built the palace at Versailles, which you as a tourist can go and marvel at it. Do you think that the serfs in that day that busted their ass to make a surplus like that would build a garden and a castle like that for 3 people to walk through every fourth night?
No.
No, they wouldn't have done that.
No, they wouldn't have.
And that's the new economic system that me and a lot of my colleagues and my college professor are pushing because it's better than what we have.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't face that fact.
Yep. Well,
It brings
this always goes around in a circle and comes back.
yeah it, it brings democracy to the workplace.
Yep.
We live in a country that makes a fetish that we're free and we're a democracy, but it
Yep.
excludes the workplace where it's the most important. Where 5 out of the 7 days, the best days of your adult life, you're at work.
Yep.
The first place it should have been instituted was where you work.
Yep. Well, I see there's some push for a 4-day work week. I'm hoping for that. Well, it doesn't matter to me. I'm retired, but
Yeah, but that's just all that's doing is shuffling cat shit on a litter tray.
yeah, that is true.
You want to
You'll
make
still
it different?
you'll still put your hours in because you'll work
Yeah.
tens instead of eights. But
And worker co-ops is nothing new. When I give people this information, I'm like, this is nothing new. People have, and they know this. I'm like Green Bay Packers football team, the city
Brian
of Green
Sanders.
Bay. Yes, because the entire town is a worker co-op. That's why they don't have poor people there or beggars.
Right.
Everybody works. And when you go to Green Bay, you're like, where's the city? You're in it. The only thing that you see is the stadium
Yeah.
where the Packers play football. The rest of it is warehousing and houses.
Yep.
And the football team is community owned.
Yep.
It could never be sold or moved.
That's a good thing. That's the way they all should be.
And people say, well, socialism, they won't be very successful. Look how many Super Bowls Green Bay had won. They won the first two.
Yeah. And they won 2 under Favre and 1 under Rodgers. That's the one.
Oh, yeah, Brady's going back to the Patriots.
Yeah. That guy can't
Unbelievable.
stay. Well, he's as bad as Favre. He can't stay retired.
Yeah, he spent, what, 2 years down in Tampa?
Yep.
Now he's going back to New England. But Rodgers is going to the Jets.
Yeah.
What I no.
Yeah, that's a done deal now. It was took a while to managed to get ironed out, but it's now a done deal. Now the Bears made some big steps in free agency and the draft.
Oh
It's
yeah,
going to be interesting to see how much improved they are.
the mostly what I was looking at is we needed a good running back and we needed a better defense.
Yeah, and they got quality players where they needed them, pretty much everywhere. So
But what we were lacking was veterans,
yeah,
veteran players.
and they did address that in free agency. They got a lot of filled a lot of the holes that they had through free agency, and they got good guys. So
Hmm. But the Chicago Bears, we've always been known for our defense, not
yeah,
offense.
yep, yeah, because probably the best offense they had was well, it was awful good when Gale Sayers was there, but I think it was maybe even better with Jim McMahon and Sweetness.
Oh yeah, they were the better offense, but the better defense was that. Now they're close, but the better defense barely beat out the '85 Bears. Was the one with Brian Urlacher and,
Oh
and
yeah,
and Briggs. That defense we had in that last Super Bowl against the Colts. That
yeah,
was the better defense than the '85 Bears. Although it was very close.
yeah. And the '85 Bears did win the Super Bowl, so
Yeah, you didn't run the ball against the '85 Bears defense.
no,
You were going backwards if you did. Because I met the '85 Bear defensive line because I idolized those guys.
yeah,
Number 76, 72, 75, and 99. One of them I got to know really well, Steve Mongo McMichael, because he
okay,
owns a sports bar and grill a couple miles north of my sister's house in Illinois, and he's
oh
there every
cool,
Sunday. But his health has deteriorated. It's pretty sad. Um, William Perry, the refrigerator,
yeah,
Dan Hampton, and Richard Dent.
yes.
Those guys make me look small.
Oh, I know they're huge.
I'm about the same size as Mongo, Steve Mongo McMichael,
Yeah, yeah. You're taller than the fridge, but
but he's huge.
yeah, and I saw him on some kind of a special here a couple of years ago, and he's in bad health.
Oh yeah, diabetes is catching up to him.
Yep. And the sad part about that is they throw meds at you and tell you to eat a high carb diet.
Mhm. I
That'll
could
never
be
help diabetes.
yeah, I could be wrong, but I think it's MS that Mongo's got. I can't remember.
No, I hadn't heard.
No, that team then, the
Yeah.
offense and the defense did not get along. That's why they were always arguing on the sidelines. And it kind of happened to that last Bears team when they went to the Super Bowl against the Colts. The defense and the offense were started to fight on the sidelines.
That's
And
never good.
yeah, it's not good, but the defense is right. The defense is what got us to that Super Bowl. It wasn't the offense.
Right.
What was pissing him off is Urlacher says we're out there damn near the entire game. You guys are going 3 and out.
Yeah.
You can't do that to even if you got an all-star defense like the Bears did. They're going to get fatigued.
They're going to get tired. Shoot.
And it was between Grossman and Urlacher, but he was running away from Urlacher.
Well, I think I would too.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher lives in Tucumcari, New Mexico. He owns like 2 or 3 car dealerships in Tucumcari.
Oh, all right.
That's where he's from.
Okay.
But he retired early. That's because he knew that they weren't going to rebuild.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see him hold the Hallis Trophy and bring that home.
Yep.
Named after George Staley Hallis.
Yep.
Ugh. Yeah. I don't know what to think of my favorite baseball team, the Cubs, this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're in 3rd place. They were in the basement. And I'm like, where the hell are these guys coming from? Because we hardly have any veterans on the team or any big name star on our team anymore.
Yeah.
Right? They let a lot of guys go.
Yeah. Time for new people to become stars.
Yeah. The only veteran we got he's been with us for 3 years, and that's Necro Horner.
Yeah.
But I am good to see Jason Hayward gone. That was an albatross contract. He was batting like 300 and change for the Cardinals, and he became a free agent. We signed him that after that year.
Uh-huh.
We get him. He's lucky to bat $125.
Wow.
And I'm like, this man can hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle.
Yeah.
That's why everybody said, well, he's a good outfielder. I'm like, yeah, but he can't hit.
There's a lot of good outfielders out there.
That's why I changed his last name from Hayward to Haywood, because he couldn't get any wood on the ball.
Yeah.
And we got Eon Happ. Oh, we do have one upcoming star, Suzuki, number 27.
Yes.
We got him from Japan. That's why I was asking Fume if she was related. Because his Hideki is Suzuki, I think his name is.
I think so.
His first at bat as a Chicago Cub, coming from the Tokyo Giants. He smacks a 3-run home run and became a god in Chicago. First time up at the plate.
Yeah.
Oh man, the stands were full. I mean, it's like the whole stadium exploded when he hit that home run.
Yeah.
But we get these good stars from Japan, and then we either trade them for the most part, and it's like, what are you doing? Like Fukudome, he became an all-star, a really good player. We had him for a year or two, and then traded him. I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Sounds like the Phoenix Suns.
There is that one Japanese kid, I can't remember his name. He's a pitcher for the California Angels. I'd like to get him. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
And all the ladies in Japan love him.
Nothing wrong with that.
I can't pronounce his name. I can't remember. Hi, Josh. I'm up in Michigan on Interstate 94, headed towards Detroit, but I'll be shutting down for a little while in Dexter. I'll probably do some mathematics, and if I can't make it legally by trying to take a 10-hour break, I'll probably just gather up a bunch of food and put it in my refrigerator, and then drive on over to the Myers and park in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Me, I just don't like parking at a place like that and not have access to anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you don't have restaurant or a karaoke club or something close.
Because once you pull in the bullpen, you're not allowed to leave, and no one's allowed in unless you're a truck driver.
Yeah.
Well, if you leave, that means you're going to a door and you're going to get unloaded, which is a
Right.
good thing.
Yeah. Oh, but otherwise you can't leave.
Yeah, they won't let you leave.
Well, that would give up your spot. So I guess I understand that.
Well, no, there were guys that were parking their truck and
Uh-huh.
had a friend or somebody that would come get
Pick 'em
them.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would go out to a nightclub and get plastered. And they got to deliver this load, and they're nowhere to be around.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
become an issue.
yeah, you can't blame them for that.
Yeah. But if you ever go to Japan or Korea or Taiwan, go to a baseball game. You'll enjoy it. It's way
Yeah.
different than here in the States.
Most games here in the States are pretty boring.
Yet over there in the Asian country, they got girls that are like cheerleaders. They don't dress
Okay.
like cheerleaders, but close. They don't wear the skirt. They usually wear the Daisy Duke shorts
Oh,
and one of the jerseys from the whatever. But they're cute as hell. They really are. But they're idols, and they're not allowed to date, which sucks.
yeah.
But they're out there, and I'm like, if they did that in the States, that wouldn't last very long.
Yeah. That's
the guys, the guys getting drunk, in the stands during a ball game. That's not a good idea.
no. Yeah, Josh starts a new job.
What you going to be doing, Josh? But one of the California Angels tried it, but I don't know if they still have those banging sticks. But it was Japan that started that. You'd have these two inflatable sticks, and you'd bang them together.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing. Well, almost every fan in the stands got them, and they'd all be clapping together in unison and do a chant. It was really cool. And now all the Asian baseball teams do it. But believe it or not, the most popular baseball team in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan is the Chicago Cubs. And you want to know why? The
Uh,
reason is when they got cable TV, WGN was one of the channels you got in your cable package.
oh, okay.
So majority of them became Cubs fans. When I was over there, I was wearing my Cubs jersey and ball hat. They're all looking at me like, "You from Chicago?" I said, "Originally, I was born and raised. Yeah, I used to go to Wrigley Field all the time, but I don't live there anymore. I live out of state now." Like, "Oh, I want to go there one day." I said, "The first thing you are going to realize, you're going to get disappointed." I said, "When you take the L train, you get off and you go to Wrigley Field, and when you come out of the tunnel and you're looking and you're in the stadium and you look around, you're going to be like, this place is small. They make it look so big on TV, but when you get there, it's like, this place is small."
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Chicago Cubs. We have the world record for the cup snake. It
Yeah.
started. It started with the the bleacher bums,
Yeah.
because that's where the majority of the drunks are, is out in the bleachers.
Yeah.
What it is when you finished a beer, you took your cup and you stacked them all together.
Oh yeah.
Well, MLB outlawed it now, but there was one time that the cups made it all the way around the stadium as a
Wow.
big snake. It was amazing. I'm like, I'm surprised they had that many cups.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've extended the selling of liquor past the seventh inning now.
Oh, really? They're really looking for trouble, aren't they?
I would think so.
I've seen people get tanked at a baseball game, and it's not a
Yeah.
pretty sight. But if you're a pervert, now most men are, if they admit it. And I have to admit, yes, it is nice. When you sit out in the bleachers or you're sitting in the upper deck, that's usually where people that are more loose.
Yeah.
They're not as rich as the people that are sitting in the box seats next to the stadium.
Right.
But when you're sitting on the edge of the upper deck, which is my favorite, I like sitting up high because you get a better view from up there.
Right.
But when you're standing there, and a lot of ladies show up to the games, and I love it when they wear those skirts, man. You're standing down there and during batting practice, and you're watching all the girls go to their seat. You turn around and you're looking up, and they're walking the steps, and you see nothing but ass. I didn't know it until a friend of mine said, "Man, dude, turn around." I did. That's all I saw. I was like, "Oh man, there's a lot of pretty ass up there." Like, yeah, now you know why we can't we stand up and turn around.
Yeah.
So we do it at the hockey games too. But I'll tell you what, man, a lot of the girls that sit in the bleachers at Wrigley Field come along and the shirts come off, and
Yeah.
they're wearing a bikini top. There's a lot of good viewing out there in the bleachers. Because Harry Carey used to look at that.
Yep.
I miss Harry Carey. One game, a couple games a year, he'll broadcast a game on TV, not from the booth, but he'll be sitting out in the bleachers with everybody,
Okay.
and he's wearing nothing but a pair of shorts and his glasses, no doubt.
Well, yeah.
I remember that one year he got really tanked out there.
I wonder if Josh left. He didn't answer us.
Oh, oh, that sucks.
Well, he didn't answer when you asked him what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, I know he got this one job a year ago at some hotel, I think, and then he got some other job. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I guess he starts tomorrow morning. So
Yeah, getting a job, that pays good is not an easy thing to do anymore.
yeah,
Even with a college degree.
that almost makes it harder.
Cause shit, man, you got people with college degrees, working at Starbucks, making coffee.
Yep.
You gotta have a BA, which is a bachelor's degree in business, to even be considered to work at Starbucks. If you don't have a BA, they throw your application away.
Oh wow.
They can do that. And, and,
Yeah.
and some other places are starting to do that. They're requiring people to have a college degree.
That's what I've been hearing about the Philippines. The sales ladies and stuff in the malls all have to have a college degree. So the ones who haven't got college pretty much can't get a job.
but mostly everybody goes to college in the Philippines, damn near.
Well, there's
Whether they finish or not is different.
right. There's still some that the economy is such that there's still some that can't go. But
That's why a lot of these, passport bros, I was trying to tell them. I said, don't go over there and think that you can pull the same shit here as you do over there. It doesn't work.
no,
I said, those girls act like women. And yes, they are educated,
yep,
college educated.
yep,
And I don't care what you look like, but the girl wants to know who you are on the inside. And if
yep,
you act like a piece of shit, then they're not going to want to know you.
nope. And the best thing about it is that pineapple telegraph is very fast. Chismus spreads like like wildfire.
Yes.
If you do something stupid and get blackballed by one, you're blackballed by most of them
Hmm.
very fast.
Yeah, and I know it firsthand because when got there day one with Barry, that was my
Yeah.
second trip there. Day one, we went to we put our stuff in the hotel, and then we went to the Mall of Asia, and they were doing that karaoke thing. And Barry said, "You gonna put a song in?" I'm like, "Yeah, I might as well," and I did. Well, I didn't realize I was being recorded by hundreds of phones, and it didn't go viral on the internet, but everybody was sending it to their friends. I couldn't go anywhere without being noticed.
Well,
If they
Sean,
come up to me and
you're
say,
you're a
"Are
foot
you?"
you're a foot taller than everybody over there, so you're gonna be noticed anyway. But
Well, they noticed me because of that video. They're like,
right,
"I saw your
yeah,
video." I'm like, "What video?" I didn't know nothing about it.
yeah. And it wasn't one video; it was hundreds of them.
I wish I had a copy of it. And I was walking off stage. They said, "Would you do another one?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then they pushed me right back up there to do another song, and then I did the
Cool.
song by Whitesnake. I did first song was Queensryche, Silent Lucidity, and got a big applaud for that one. And then they made me do another, so I did the Deeper the Love by Whitesnake.
Oh yeah, good choices.
But that's how I know firsthand that when you do something sociably anywhere, oh yeah, it spreads pretty quickly. Because
Yep.
I did. My video was all over the place. I'm like, what? I'm like, who are you? I'm like, I'm not a movie star or anything like that. They're like, no, we saw your video. I'm like, what video? And they would show it to me. I'm like, oh, you were there? They're like, no, a friend of mine sent it to me. I'm like, oh, okay. And they
Yeah.
wanted a picture with me. That's where Charisma was getting a little bit upset.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know that that was going to
They
happen.
are very jealous type of people.
I'm like, Charisma, if I would have known that was going to happen, I would have thought twice about karaoke in that day. I didn't
Yeah.
know. She goes, oh, no, but she goes, I loved it too. I just don't like all the attention it drew. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah. Hello, Steve. How are you doing?
Yeah, I think Sammy had to go to Dumageddon yesterday
I
and
think
pick up
I heard
Naki.
something about that. Yeah.
Went Dumageddon to pick up Naki and bring him home.
Right.
He spent a week with some friends in Manila.
Oh, okay. I knew he'd gone somewhere, but I couldn't remember where.
I tell you what, flying in a prop plane, which mostly you'll be flying in, if you're just flying domestically in the Philippines, it's a prop
Right.
plane for the most
Yeah.
part. It's different than flying in a jet.
Oh,
When
absolutely.
when you take off and land in a prop plane, it's like being attached to a rubber band. It's really weird.
Yeah. I've flown quite a few of them from like from Seattle to Spokane and Spokane to Boise,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. A lot of the airlines use them for those short hops.
And when Naki comes to a live stream, whatever, I'm going to ask him, when you landed Dumageddon, did you feel like you were arriving at Jurassic Park? Because when I landed in Corone, that it did. It looked like from the movie Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Because we're coming in for a landing and everybody was quiet the entire flight. I'm like, and I just went ahead and say, "Hey Barry," he's like, "What? Welcome to Jurassic Park." And people started turning around and look at me with a smile. There were some people that laughed about it. I said, "No, look out the window."
Yep.
And when we landed there in Corone and got into the airport, it's not very big. And I'm like, this looks like the airport in the movie Club Paradise with Robin Williams. There wasn't much to this airport. And I was like, this looks like the airport in Club Paradise. And I showed them the movie because I brought my external hard drive with me that had the movie on it. I said, see, look. And they're like, yeah, it does look like it.
Yep. I can't remember where I flew into that had an airport like that. Hobby here was really small, but now it's an international airport now.
Hmm.
They they mostly fly like South America, uh, Caribbean, that kind of stuff. Central
Hmm.
America. Because I checked with them to see if they had a flight to the Philippines, and I couldn't find any.
Yeah, you're going to end up flying to like Chicago, LA, and flying out of those places to whatever
Actually,
country you're going to.
yeah, actually, I can fly out of Houston from Bush. If
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
know they
great.
did international.
Oh hell yeah, it's been an international airport for years. Um, most of the ones I see, they got one that goes the other way, but most or more than one probably, but most of them I see go from Houston to Taipei.
Yeah, because that's what I did once
Yeah,
from LAX to Taipei and then to Manila.
yeah. Now there's a chance if
And
you
then the
went to
second time we went
LAX.
from LAX to Tokyo.
Yeah, I was gonna say from LAX you have a chance of getting a direct flight to Manila.
I heard about that,
Yeah, of course they're more money,
but I like.
you know.
I, but when I went with Barry, when we stopped in Tokyo to see his brother, that was great. I liked it.
Yeah,
That's where I met Kana.
yeah,
I thought we were going to see sumo wrestling, but no, it was women's wrestling. Stardom.
yeah.
I'll never forget it. When she came down and she entered, I looked right at her, and she runs by and she was hitting hands, and I was just stunned. I'm like,
Yeah.
who is this woman? Just it was like immediate attraction. And Barry goes, I just saw your heart leap out of your chest. I'm like, Barry, who is that woman? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, you brought me here. I thought we were going to see these big dudes, sumo wrestlers. No. These girls are
Oh
beating
my,
the snot out of each other. It's like, my God.
yeah, it's better. You got better than the sumus.
Now, a lot of them, they were beautiful girls, but
Yep.
kind of for some reason, I believe that the cupids, the myth about the cupid shooting you with an arrow. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a baby in a diaper here in the United States. Over in Japan, totally different.
I
I felt
imagine.
like I got shot by an army of ninjas, and that was very very overwhelmingly. I felt a little bit dizzy. I'm like, who is this woman? I never had a woman do that to me that I never met before
I
and didn't
haven't.
know.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen.
Well, she did it to me. That's
Yeah.
why I kept smiling up at her. I'm standing up and I'm hearing yelling in Japanese, you know, and I
They're
kept
probably
giving her
telling
that.
they're probably telling you to sit down.
No, I kept doing that to her, with my hand.
Oh yeah.
It's like to go for a drink. No, and that's when his father-in-law said, "She's not going to go with you to a drink. Sit down, Klotz." That's what his brother's father-in-law was saying. He gave me the
Yeah.
nickname Klotz.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Klutz.
Yeah. Well, lost something in translation.
It all started when I walked in the house for the first time, slipped and busted my ass on the damn floor.
That's always fun. Great first impression.
Well, I took my shoes off. I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I knew to do that. And when I started walking on that hardwood floor with cotton socks, yeah, like walking on ice. Boom. And they had the elderly couple, their in-laws, came out of that bedroom. I heard them say something in Japanese, all excited, and their eyes are real big. And then Barry's brother looks at me and laughs. He goes, "They just thought it was an earthquake."
Well, somebody as big as you are slamming into the floor, that's gonna shake things up a little.
They're like, "We got slippers." I'm like, "You got a size 15?" They're like, no." I said, "Yeah, I barely fit my toes in one of them."
Yeah.
That's why I now bought. I don't use them, but I bought them when I got home. When I saw these Hanes socks, they got these. It looks like that old candy that used to be stuck to the paper.
They're tackified.
Yeah, yeah. They got the little rubber dots on the bottom of the
Yeah,
socks.
I
I've
got some
got
of
some of them.
those.
It prevents that. And I said, I wish
Yeah.
I would have known about these before. I would have bought them before I came to Japan.
Yep. Yeah, I've got quite a few pairs of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of Japanese girls I follow on their YT channel.
Yeah.
Uh, one of them is just a heartbreaker. It's just a matter of time. Her daughter is going to pass away.
Oh
Baby
no.
girl. She's been brain dead for over a month now.
Oh man, that's so sorry to hear that.
A single Filipino mom in Japan is the channel name.
I think I've seen that channel before.
Yeah, I got to know her kids. I've been following her for about a year.
Yeah.
It's just like what happened. This awful.
Yeah.
And another one is Miley. She's a cartoon voice actress. Anime voice actress.
Oh,
She's got a
okay.
cute voice. When you hear her, you'll know why. She's perfect for that sort of thing. She
Yeah.
speaks fluent English too. Uh, Asaji, she just got married and she's pregnant now with their first child.
All right.
She speaks, fluent English too.
Yeah.
And uh, Amy, but I don't remember her channel name though. It's spelled EMI. She speaks fluent English too.
Okay.
Yeah, Miley, she's like I think 31, but you would swear to God she was like 12 or 13.
They do hold their age very well.
Yeah, she goes, real high pitched, cartoonish voice. Yeah, we're gonna go here. I'm gonna have something to drink. She's drinking sake, and I'm like, I know she's 31, but it looks like an underager is drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was there, I would have felt like I was handing a nun a dildo. That's what I would have felt like.
Yeah.
uh, I got 104 miles to go, and I'll be at that TA in Dexter.
All right.
What time is it? 2:49. Yeah, I'll be able to.
You're Eastern time now?
Yeah, I'm in Michigan.
Oh, I couldn't remember whether that was Eastern or Central.
Yeah, yeah. All of Michigan is Eastern except for the UP,
Oh, okay.
the part that's above Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'm in the lower. It looks like what they call the mitten.
Uh huh. Been a long time since I've been up that way.
This time of year, Michigan is gorgeous, comfortable,
Yep.
but it can be brutal in the wintertime.
Yeah, I went up to Marquette once, and then I went through Detroit to Windsor, Canada.
hmm The Ambassador Bridge. I hate waiting in line to get into Canada over there because the Ambassador Bridge,
Yeah,
you're stopped and you're waiting in line. You could feel the bridge bouncing. I do not like that.
it's not fun. It's not fun in a car. I can imagine what it'd be like on a truck.
Oh, yeah. Other than Ambassador in Detroit to Windsor and from Niagara to Buffalo, besides those two, the rest of them are pretty easy to get in and out.
Yeah,
The
well,
quick, the quickest ones were the one in Vermont from near Montreal to get into Vermont. There,
uh huh.
that one's that's where I had the dog sniffing my truck, and the Sweetgrass in Montana was the easiest.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like, is there actual guards here? And they're like, yeah, we're here. There's only a couple of us, but we're here.
yeah,
It's where I-15 ends right there, and then the
uh-huh.
Canadian highway starts.
Right.
That leads you into Alberta. Yeah, I only got a couple of relatives that still live here in Michigan. Two cousins,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen them in years. One of them is my first cousin, Connie, And my other one is a second cousin that lives in Grand Rapids. That's Cindy.
I don't know if I have any relatives in Michigan or not. There's some in Wisconsin.
When I was a kid, the majority of them, my aunts and uncles on my mom's side, they were all here in Michigan and Flint.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
in 1980, when GM and AC Sparkplug closed down Flint and everybody lost their job,
Yeah.
that's what started in 1980. Ronald Reagan gave them a big tax cut to cut all those jobs so they could ship them over to China and India and Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah. Reagan was the author of the of NAFTA.
Yeah, and bust up and he's a part of the Screen Actors Guild. He was a union steward.
Yeah.
And he
Yep.
busted up the airline union and everything
Oh
and
yeah.
threatened them. Saying,
Yep.
you either come back to work or you're out of a job.
Yep. He was a big union buster.
As long as it didn't affect him.
Well, yeah.
But that's when we took our aunts and uncles in, because my dad was a truck driver. My mom was about ready to go back to work because I was starting kindergarten.
Yep.
Well, she did. She went back to work when I was in kindergarten. And in 1980, I think in third or fourth grade. I can't remember. Third or fourth grade. I think third grade. But my mom was a Chicago cop. My dad was a truck driver.
Yep.
We were okay. We had that big farmhouse.
Yeah.
And we had the room. We took our aunts and uncles in because everybody lost their job in Flint.
Yeah.
Michigan used to be a great place to raise a family and grow up. But when 1980 rolled around, that's when it went downhill.
Yep. Yeah, I can't believe how many people think that Reagan was such a great president.
When you look back on it, I mean, he did a couple of things that I applaud him for,
I
but
can't
other than that, no. Peter Grace. He hired Peter Grace to trace where all tax money goes, all of it.
Yeah.
What income tax, highway tax, fuel tax, all the tax, and it was called the Grace Commission Report. Very insightful.
Yeah.
Only a few people had actually sat down and read it. I'm one of them.
Yeah, I know I'm not. I've heard of it barely, but it was just in passing. Never had a chance to read it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
There's a copy of it floating around. You'll just probably have to special order it from Amazon or something.
Yeah.
Because when I first time I was looking for a copy of Das Kapital, I went to Borders, and they had an attitude with me. And that one girl looked at me like I shot her dog.
Yep.
You actually want to read that? I said, did you read it? No. I said, well, maybe you should read it before you pass judgment of who you think that is. But so far, I'm the only one in known history to read Das Kapital and break a toe. I was still pissed.
Yeah.
I'd read, a few pages, or almost an entire chapter and get pissed off more and more and more because it made too much sense.
Yeah.
And it's not that difficult. And it's translated in all languages.
Somebody needs to give a copy of that to Kevin McCarthy.
Hmm. Well, our current Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen,
Yeah.
she was a fellow classmate of my college economics professor, Richard Wolff.
Oh yeah.
And Richard Wolff scored higher marks in economics and business than she did. That's why he makes the comment. He goes, "I don't like talking bad about my colleagues, but she doesn't have a clue."
Well, that's obvious anytime you hear her talk.
He says the only way that I could become Secretary of the Treasurer would be there a movement like Syriza in Greece when Yanis Varoufakis became the finance minister.
Yeah.
What happened in Greece at that time, that would be like me being the finance minister of the United States.
Yeah.
And you would realize how much changing would be if that were the case.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's like right now they're having this big fight over the debt ceiling, which isn't even a real thing, and they're trying to tie the budget to it so they can get all these budget cuts.
Well, yeah, they want to cut Social Security. They want to cut all these things
Yeah.
because they have to pay for that $1 trillion tax cut that Trump gave to 1%.
Exactly.
That's where the issue is.
Yep. And the thing is, it's unconstitutional for them to not pay the debts. The 14th Amendment requires them to pay the government to pay its debts, and
Hmm.
also it's unconstitutional for them to cut Social Security.
Well, Social Security isn't in the Constitution. Social Security was created in 1933.
Yeah, but it was added to their. They added stipulations in the Constitution for it.
I'd like to know where that's at because when
All
you
right.
read the tax code, chapters 2 and 21.
Yep.
Okay, let me just go with the tax code.
All right.
In the tax code, I learned that there are three chapters that you need to focus on. Chapters 1, which is graduated in 2 and 21. 2 and 21 Social Security. Okay, now, if you're an employee, you have to focus on chapters 1 and 21. If you are self-employed like me, you focus on chapters 1 and 2.
Okay.
And when you look at Social Security chapters 2 and 21, American citizens are not named as liable for its payment. The citizens of possessions are, meaning
Right.
Puerto Rico, Virgin, some are other states. They're just states of the union.
Now you're
I try to
cutting out.
explain that. Language is very important in court.
Yes.
Oh, language is very important in our court system.
Yes, it
The
is.
Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and Puerto Rico, those are states. They're just not states of the union. Big difference.
Right.
They're in the same position as Hawaii and Alaska was until they brought in Alaska and Hawaii into the union. And they said, well, they're no longer covered under 770A10 because you don't know about this, but a state is excluded when you're a state of the union.
Okay.
But Social Security initially was paid for by a citizen of the possessions and the corporations and the rich by being taxed 94% over a
Yeah.
certain amount. That's how FDR paid for all this crap.
Yep.
We weren't supposed to pay for Social Security. It was slowly dumped on us by the corporations buying off the politicians to change all of it.
Yeah. And then in the 50s, Eisenhower changed the law to allow them to take money out of Social Security and put it in the general fund, which it was never supposed to be able to do,
Hmm.
because at that time, calculating it on a Cray computer, they figured there was at least 300 years of solvency the way it was if they continued going the way they were going.
Hmm.
And now they're looking at 9 years. And they're crying about, oh, well, we got to cut it because you know, it's not part of the budget. So budgetary changes should have no effect on it. It's its own
Yes.
separate taxed collected uh, entity. And they can still fix it and save it and do like Bernie Sanders wants, add another $200 a month to everybody by just taxing the rich. And they
Hmm.
don't have to tax them a huge amount. But the
Yeah.
rich don't want to pay any taxes. Most of them
Yeah,
pay
but that's
less
why
than I do.
yeah, but that's why everybody was picking on that term, the Green New Deal.
Yeah,
Well, they think that's something new. No, the New Deal was in 1933 with FDR.
that was Eisenhower. I mean Roosevelt. Yeah.
FDR did the New Deal. It was the New
Yep.
Deal that wasn't green yet, but that was the cry for a New Deal, and that would fix our issues. It's what fixed us in the first place. That's why FDR, they say he saved capitalism. In a way, yes, but that's when the middle class got created.
Yep.
For the second time in human history, a middle class was created.
Yes.
And capitalism takes credit for something that it fought against.
Yep.
Because where we are right now, we had just returned to 1929 almost,
Yep.
to the terrible 30s.
Yep.
Because capitalism is what got us here where we are in the first place. If capitalism was so great, why is the middle class destroyed? That's
Yep.
because they killed the New Deal. They took away almost everything. It's almost all gone.
Yeah,
The only
that's
thing
right.
left is Social Security. The only thing left is the
Yep.
New Deal.
I think that's right.
But things that FDR put in place, he put people to work, built up the middle class.
Yep.
We had Leave It to Beaver and the Brady Bunch, and come
Yep.
1980, we ended up with The Simpsons and South Park and Beavis and Butthead.
Yep.
It's a cultural shift that we went through, and nobody recognized it.
Yep. That's true. Looking back, you can see it. When you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see things.
Hmm.
Yep.
See, people 45 years and younger did not grow up during the Cold War like we did.
No, they don't understand that that's just where we're heading right now. Back to another one.
Yeah, but it's not
Actually,
going to work. It's not going to work.
well, I don't think so either. But
Because no matter how much they scapegoat, it's not going to work.
right.
All this crap that people want to argue about in a political stance is just to keep you distracted from what was really important: the economy.
Yep.
I said, you think the top 1% give a shit about these issues? They don't.
No.
They throw them out there just to keep you entertained and distracted. When
Exactly.
they when the corporations and the rich talk about elections, they look at their bank account and their wallet and make a decision with their money. And you ask yourself, who's going to look out for me?
Hey, Robert, how are you?
Yeah, Robert, the link is in the chat if you could still see it. Are you able to copy and paste it to the chat, Leonard? Still?
I don't know. I can't copy it off of StreamYard, but
Hmm.
let me go back to
I'll
YT and see.
I'll try posting it again. I think I still got it.
I wonder if I can't copy it off of there. It should. There it is.
Yo, you got it? Okay, cool. There you go, Robert. Leonard's gonna bring it down to you.
I'll try. Wow, I don't know if that's going to work or not, but it's worth trying.
Well, Robert, if you could see what I got posted on the bottom left of the screen, just copy that. Just type it out. That's the link. I left it on the screen on the bottom left.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, it's still in the chat, he said.
It is, yeah. That's where I found it.
But, with, all this thing that people have made political is not political. It's talking about that issue. It's everybody else has made it political.
Right.
Google the word political and read the definition. But a lot of people have broadened that to where it could be anything. Like talking about the LGBT community can be political.
Yep.
I'm like, no, that's talking about people's sexual orientation. Where does politics fit into that?
Yep, exactly. It doesn't.
And to me, I knew about this damn near since I was a kid. It never bothered me. I never had a problem using a public restroom or anything like that.
Yeah.
But because the news mentions it and makes a big hoop-de-ha about it, now it's an issue?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be an issue at all. Plus, if I use a public restroom, look, I'm going in there to take care of business and get the hell out of there. I don't go in there for conversation.
Yeah, and I don't hang out in there for an hour. Well,
yeah, not only that, it smells really bad. How you doing, Robert?
Hey, Robert. Nice to see you, bud.
Oh, hold on. I was trying to let you know I was in the background.
Well, I was waiting for the red dot to come up.
There you go.
And I was in Facebook trying to message Leonard to say, hey, I'm in the background.
Yeah.
Because I can't do when I'm in StreamYard, I can't message. So, and I'm only using one phone. I'm only using one phone. So.
Oh, okay. How are you doing anyway?
Hurting today, man. We're supposed to have storms coming through here today.
Like Leonard.
Yeah.
Like the issue about guns.
Yes.
They make it to where it's either we have guns or we don't. No. Okay, I'm going to push that retarded argument out of the way. Now you break it down and think critically. Number one, I would implement a law that you own a gun and somebody gets a hold of that gun and kills somebody with it, you're going beyond the dock right there alongside them.
Well,
that means back in the day, we were responsible with guns.
They had that.
Virginia still got that. If it's committed in a crime, it got stolen, it's registered to you.
Well, no, that's different. If it was you reported it stolen, then that alleviates you.
Yeah, because I had a friend that he stole his dad's 357, and he had a real bad crack cocaine problem. He sold it to his dealers, is what he did.
Yeah.
And his dad got all, which I don't blame him. His dad got all bent out of shape. Yeah. You gonna tell me where this guy is? I need it back. I mean, because if he commits a crime with it, and it's my gun.
Yep.
And he even sold it. He had a 700 or 800 cc Ninja motorcycles. He gave that to the dealer too.
Damn. But like I said, because my mom was a cop, if you report it, then that alleviates you from any crime that is done with that gun. Now, if I
report it,
being that guy, like you told me what drug dealer you sold it to, and he introduced me, I said, look, I can care less about the drugs or whatever. Yeah. I said, let me give you the cash equivalent for what he owes you, and let me buy my gun
Yeah,
back.
I mean, at that point, my friend didn't care. He didn't care if he had to pay him or not. You know, he just wanted it back.
Right.
And
Because I,
as for the motorcycle, his grandparents bought that, so his dad didn't care about that. That was his loss if he
yeah,
did something stupid like that.
because
Yep.
my family was gun owners too, but
Yeah.
we kept them locked away in a cabinet. We
Yeah.
were We were taught to be responsible.
Well,
But you got these
I had a
people
trigger lock.
they're spending their whole monthly paycheck on an AR-15 and calling it a toy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you got mental issues, dude.
I had a
And they
trigger
just
lock
leave
on
it lay
mine.
around.
Yeah.
I had a trigger lock on mine, so.
Well, mine are in a gun safe, so.
Well, I didn't need a safe. I mean, you're not going to fire it if the trigger
Oh,
lock's
no,
on
of
there
course not.
either.
Right.
Yeah.
And
People
plus it never had a magazine in it, even when I did that, because I would clear the chamber and pull the magazine out.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would be exempt, like gun collectors, your big name gun owners like Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Ted, calm down. You're exempt because you're not a poacher. You're an avid hunter and a very good one. But I'm not after your guns, Ted. You know what it's like. It's like all these other people that weren't raised to be respectable with weapons like you are.
Yep.
And I'm like, Ted, these are the people you need to attack for being irresponsible.
Well, I never fired mine except when I was in the service. In the civilian life, I only fired it when I was just at a target range or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't even have it right now. My brother has it, which I'm not gonna be able to take it with me anyway when I go to the Philippines anyway.
Right.
So,
That's right.
But I'm
I
like
just
this.
did go ahead. Sorry.
You're 21. You have to be 21 or older to drive a truck that I'm driving right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
That should be the same thing when it comes to military. It should be the same way when it comes to buying guns. We don't need 18-year-olds going out spending their monthly paycheck on an AR-15.
Well, you know just as well as me, Sean. It doesn't matter. Like an area like I live in, D.C. area, you want something bad enough, you just go to D.C. and you can buy it hot.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. These people thinking that bans and all that are going to stop people from getting
no,
them. All they'll do is make it better for the criminals to sell them.
yeah, make it more profitable for them and boost their business.
Yep.
It's easier said than done, okay? I live near some ghettos. Even if you live near the ghetto and knew a couple of people, your chances of getting a gun are slim. But everybody makes it sound like it's easy. Oh, you just go to the ghetto. No.
Yeah.
They'll look at you as if you're crazy. And even though they may deal in guns, they may not deal with you because
Dude,
they don't want to go to jail.
where
Well,
I'm
they don't know you.
sitting right now, I know of 3 people that could find me one if I wanted one. You don't need to be in the city to find it.
No.
Because
Yeah, like I said, you got to know somebody in order to get a hot gun like that.
yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Allergies are bothering me too. So
I
But
thought
that's
you
what
were
it is.
lying.
You'll never deal with a direct dealer unless
well,
you've known them a long time.
outside.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I see that.
If you've known this dealer for a long time that does in hot weapons, you've had to have known them a long time or grew up with them.
oh yeah.
If they don't know you, you're going to have to deal with somebody in between.
Well, I've eliminated a lot of people out of my life in my past. So I mean,
Yeah.
the older I've gotten, I'm just not down with that stupid shit no more. You know, I'm not going to get all involved or upset with someone that's over something petty. You know.
Hold on a second, guys. Back it down eastbound, exit 92, coming to a stop.
Yeah, back up front ahead.
Yeah. There's a lot of radio chatter.
Oh, you got a CB in there now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when'd you get that?
I got it about a week and a half ago. See?
Oh yeah, you told
Oh,
you kept saying that you were going to get one.
I figured
Cost
you
me
had one all along.
$500.
Yeah, well, a nice one's going to cost you that.
Yeah, mine reaches out over 100 miles.
Well, I know you, Sean. You're gonna get the best of what's out there.
Is that a sideman?
Yeah, but plus I can entertain you all in the radio. There's a lot of chatter because the Blitz started early this morning.
Oh yeah.
72-hour DOT Blitz.
Not to sound ignorant, but what is that?
They do it every year. It should be done in secret. What it is every scale house is open in the country, and they pull everybody in. I got bypassed the first two. The third one, Leonard, I was on a live stream. Leonard saw me pull into the one there in Michigan. They pulled me in, but they put me in the bypass lane where I just go on through.
Oh, okay.
So technically, I've been bypassed 3 times.
I guess
the other two, I didn't have to go in.
Well, when they do that, they usually just want to see how low you're sitting and stuff like that, right?
They want to look at your truck a little closer.
Yeah, they want to look at the truck tires, see if you're carrying a real heavy load, or.
Well,
the dummies around here, man. I don't know how they get away with it, but half these guys I see out on the 81, 95, and 395 and 495, man, running around with bald freaking tires on their freaking rig.
You can't do that.
And they do it. And the Virginia State Police ain't doing shit about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only illegal if you get caught. That's the rule.
I think I don't know. It was probably about 7 months ago when I sent that picture to Sammy and she showed you where that car went into the Jersey wall and flipped, and the truck was behind him. He couldn't stop. It killed the dude in the car instantly.
Damn.
And the whole cab was scorched, and maybe 6 feet of the trailer was scorched in the fire.
Oh, wow.
Your tread depth on your steer tires have to be no lower than 430 seconds.
Well, you know when they put I forget what they call it, but they put the blanket or the barrier around the car because the person was obviously ugly and gruesome, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But your drives and your tandem tires, they can be almost damn near bald.
Yeah.
And you're okay. But steers,
I'm talking on the rig itself, like the rear tires.
Yeah, you can almost go bald on those and you're okay. But not a steer tire.
But
that's right. You have to, when you replace those steer tires, they have to be new tires. They can't be caps or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, they won't make recaps on steers. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't plug a steer tire either. Got to replace it.
Yeah, that's right.
They still do retreads or not, do they?
They don't retread steer tires. That's illegal.
Well, do they retread tires, period, anymore?
Yes, for the drives and the trailer tires.
Yeah, I was asking Pennsylvania trucker one time. I remember in the day when I was younger, I used to change tires, and these gentlemen came in with two rims, truck tires that were split rims.
Those are fun.
Oh yeah, those are very dangerous, is what they are.
They sure
I run my truck with virgin rubber only. Yeah. I don't do recaps on my truck. Trailer, those are recaps, but I'm not responsible for that anyway.
Well, that's prime, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I run virgin rubber on my truck, on my steers and my drives.
Probably worth it.
Well, it's worth the investment if you want to keep control of your rig.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I wait till my drives go down to about, no lower than 230 seconds, maybe even 4, and then I get all new ones. And it's usually, I got it down to a science. Every 2.5 years, I get new drive tires. Like
what's the average life of your tires anyway?
About 2.5 years. Like by this time next year, I'll be getting new drives.
With the miles you put on, that's actually not that bad.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, if you now, I'm not. I don't know much about the rigs, but the cars I know you do front and rear alignment. I don't know. Do you have to do that with the rig too?
Yes.
That has saved the life of your tires too, keeping it aligned.
Yep.
I get an alignment about every 6 months.
Yeah. Well, some of the roads me and Sammy have seen you on, I can see why.
Oh yeah.
Some of the parking lots I've seen you go through.
Yep.
Yeah, you went through that one pothole at that. I think it was a TA. You went into that one friggin' TA and went in one end of the pothole and came out the other end. The whole truck disappeared. It's so damn
Well,
big.
Sammy had saw Baby Yoda get slung from where he is across the dashboard because it was so bumpy.
Yeah.
He just went. Shh.
I'm trying to remember where you were. I think you were out Midwest somewhere when you went in that truck stop. I do remember that it was either rain or it was snow, one of the two that you were in, but I remember it was a huge ass freaking hole in the parking lot. And you had a lot of dummies around there that were parking where they weren't supposed to be parking and everything else.
Oh yeah, they were stuck in the mud.
Yeah, because to get into the stop, they detoured you and you had to go full wheeling to get into the freaking truck stop. And I think you were loading shit. I think you were loaded up with chicken then, I think.
Yeah, the last time I was in snow was that photo I got off the highway camera.
Yeah.
Of me on the side of the highway with everybody else.
Well, me and
This was
Sammy
out in Oregon.
Yeah, me and Sammy were on video chat with you when you were parked that one. Now you wouldn't drive in it, and
Yeah,
you could see the snow plows in the background moving the snow in the lot.
That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was out in Oregon. They had that last snowstorm.
I think so.
I was right before LaGrange.
Yeah, because you parked it for the night and you said you weren't driving through it.
Yeah, I was sat there for like about 4 hours, and then the hammer lane got clear, and then I took off.
Yeah, because you said the farther you were going into it, the worse it was getting. So you parked for the night.
Thank you, driver. Saying the right lane's open. Everybody's going to try to come to our lane now.
That's the way they do it. Well, that or they'll wait till the last 10 feet and realize, oh, I got to get over.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I wish I could take a photo of this. See the back of the trailer that I'm facing?
Yes.
Can you read that? It says owner-operators wanted. It's on the top right of his trailer. Owner-operators wanted. Regular loads from Chicago suburbs. Honesty, integrity, guarantee. We speak English, Ukrainian, Russian, Polish. And then there's the phone number. Ukrainian and Russian. That's funny.
I want to ask you guys, because this just recently started happening to me. I have never been on StreamYard before. My screen usually stays open. Now it's trying to go to sleep.
Well, my screensaver kicks in.
No, because it just started to darken on me, and I had to touch the screen.
Yeah.
Unless your battery's going.
No, I'm fully charged.
I'm
fully charged.
I'm on a desktop, and it's my screensaver. I think I talked to you about this once before.
One of your buddies are in the chat, Sean.
Yeah, you'll have to type. You have to turn that off in the
settings. Yeah, the sleeping.
Yeah.
Is that in StreamYard or is that?
No, he's in the chat itself. It's at a more. What do you mean? No, you got to do it on your phone settings.
Well, I'm on a desktop computer. I'm not on the phone.
Well, you'd still have to go into your desktop settings to do that.
Well, I can shut the screensaver off, or
it's not the screensaver. Is my screen's trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I don't have it. Mine's not set to sleep.
Yeah, and when I'm on StreamYard or YouTube or anything like that, I never had to do anything with my settings. It automatically would not do that.
This has only been the last couple of weeks that
and this has been the past few weeks that this has been happening. Yeah. I'm in a stream and the screen's trying to go to sleep.
Did your phone do an update? Did you do an update on your phone recently?
This thing's been crazy, dude. The past 2 weeks, it's already wanted to do 3 updates.
Yeah, when it doesn't update on itself, it can mess with your settings.
Yeah, I'll have to go into my display settings and see where it's at.
Because it happened to me. The last
Yeah,
update on my
because
phone.
I had that issue, and I asked. I think Leonard, I don't know if Leonard remembers, and I had the issue when I got that S21, and anytime I was on Facebook Messenger, if both phones were on, the 22 and the 21,
Yeah.
my Facebook Messenger would blink like it was cycling.
Wow.
And I finally figured it out. Somebody told me you can't have two phones on one Facebook Messenger running at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because they're going to interfere with each other.
Makes sense.
I'm guessing this was an accident.
It might be because it's taking
Yeah.
so long.
And the only thing that would cause an accident would be a young female between the ages of 18 to 30 on a cell phone.
Yeah.
That's what normally what causes accidents out here.
Yeah. That causes most accidents in the whole U.S.
Yeah, they just said the left lane is closed, so it's probably in the middle of the highway.
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
Just where the hell am I? Oh, I'm right by Battle Creek. Matter of
Oh,
fact,
you're what, in Michigan?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, if you pull up the
Were you hauling what are you hauling, cereal or something?
frozen food, but it's really lightweight. I am where that you can go on YouTube and find the video. It was like 5 or 6 years ago of that winter storm pileup on I-94 in Battlefield.
Yeah.
You'll see that where all the trucks are ass ending each other. I'm right where that took place.
Man, I went over the Siskiyous in Oregon one time, and there weren't too many trucks. I don't think there were any trucks crashed, but there were so many vehicles. The curve around there had a lot of super to it, and those cars and trucks and stuff were stacked up like cordwood down there in the bottom of that curve.
Yeah, not to change with snowstorms to hurricanes. But I remember when Andrew went through Florida. I mean, the title started stacked those yachts and big boats like they were Tonka toys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they were
That happened
like
down
somebody
in
picked them up and piled them up like that. That's how bad the title surge was there.
Hey, Leonard, were you in Houston when Ike came in?
Yes,
When Ike hit?
that was my first hurricane experience.
But you're far inland, but you still felt it, though, right?
Oh well, I covered the whole damn state.
I know Galveston was destroyed.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one where they had all the boats up on top of buildings and
Yeah,
all sorts of stuff like that.
I saw all kinds of crazy crap when Andrew went through Florida. Man, I'd never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was a Category 5, and
So was Ike.
it took
Ike was a Category 5 when it hit land.
it took whole 2x4s and drove them through trees without breaking the boards.
Yep.
That's how bad the wind gusts were.
Speed kills.
Yeah. Which they said that it's flying debris is what kills most people in storms like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We
The
were
winds
lucky-
are power.
Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. But the winds are powerful for a hurricane, but they're lucky to get to about 160. But an F5 tornado is worse. Those winds get up to 300. That's why those are more dangerous.
Yeah. Well, tornadoes I don't like for two reasons. That and a tornado can run its path. It can turn right around and come right back where it just came through.
Well, you remember that one was last year, I think, that went through Kentucky?
Well, I remember Sean.
It was like 250 miles
that
it was on the ground.
Yeah, I think me and Sammy were with Sean when he was parked at that truck stop next to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And it took out the Walmart.
Yeah, I took a picture of that one. That was a solid F5 too.
Yep.
Yeah, it took out Walmart, and the cops wouldn't let nobody get on the interstate to try to get away from it.
Yep.
I thought was stupid as all get out. I mean, give people a chance and let them get on the interstate and try to get away from it.
Yeah.
It started with Walmart kicking everybody out of the store.
Well, that was stupid.
I'm like, are you fucking serious? You're gonna throw people out here like a spotted ass ape? So they all ran over to the truck stop.
Yeah.
And me, I took the picture and then I went in and I went right back. Couldn't get in the restroom, so I went and got in one of the showers. I gave the kid $20. I said, "Open this shower up, and let me in." He goes, "Okay." I gave him a $20 bill, and he came in there with me.
That's what they say: bathroom or a closet or.
They're generally safe for small.
Man, probably the walk-in refrigerators and freezers would be the safe place to be too.
Yep.
Except for the glass doors and the coolers. That's why the shower is the best spot because there's no glass and there's no windows.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
You're surrounded by concrete.
Because they attach those walk-in freezers and all that stuff down. And they anchor them pretty well.
Yeah, but you got all that glass around you.
Well, no, I'm not talking where the customer comes in. I'm talking about going into what is stored in the back.
Well, at grocery stores, yes.
Yeah.
But some of them have the coolers are built into where they stock the shelves, where the glass doors are for the customer.
Yeah, like 7-Eleven.
You're in the cooler.
Like 7-Eleven, places like that do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Walmart and most grocery stores, their walk-in coolers are separate from the. They're separate from the. They keep some merchandise in there, but not the bulk of it.
Yeah, like your meat departments in your grocery store or produce departments. Yeah, those are separate from where the customers are. But like a dairy cooler, you're in the cooler. They stock. It's called they stock the shelves from the cooler inside.
Yeah,
the cooler.
The milk and the eggs and stuff like that. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Butter. Oh, now the wind's starting to pick up over here.
Yeah, it was last week. I was in Virginia.
Yeah, I remember you saying you were.
I was just south of Richmond.
Yeah, that's
delivered to a food line.
About an hour and a half away from me. Richmond is down 95.
I can't remember what was the name of that damn town. Right off of 295.
Well, you got Petersburg just before you get into Richmond, and I forget there's a couple other little towns that are before you get into Richmond. Yeah, Richmond's right outside of Richmond is where they have King's Dominion.
Yep. Oh, by the way, yeah, it was last week on a Sunday because, no. It was last week Thursday because I went through Knoxville and saw the WWE trucks coming into Knoxville because they were having Friday Night SmackDown there because Kana got moved from Raw to SmackDown. That's why I'm glad I didn't go with WWE because I'd be stuck calling for Raw, which is on Monday, and she's no longer a part of that. I'd have been like, hey, I need to go to SmackDown. That's why if I can still go to WWE, I want SmackDown.
Excuse me. Sorry.
And I can't make business decisions because of a certain somebody, but they kept calling me. They're wanting me because your safety record precedes you. Yes, you get a reputation. You got a safety record like mine. Yeah, the top companies are going to want you. Your name gets out there. Well, they wanted me, and I'm like, well, I don't know who's going to be owning the WWE because they're talking about selling it, and I don't sign a new contract till that's solved.
Yeah, I think his daughter owns it, as far as I know now. His daughter and her husband.
No, they were in charge of it. They are no longer in charge of it. They stepped down. Vince McMahon still owns it. Yeah. He thought about. I think he just threw that out there for press.
Yeah, well,
He,
I know damn well that man's got to be way up in his 80s now.
but there was talk about selling it to Saudi Arabia and all kinds of crap, and I'm like, I am not dealing with those people in a contract. I'm not going to sign a contract and have to them screw me on my contract where they don't have to honor it, or me
Yeah.
not wanting to honor it. I'm like, I'm not working for those people. I'll walk away. That's why I waited. I'm glad I did. I'm under a provisional contract, meaning they can get rid of me or I can step away anytime I want.
That's what it should be.
Well, I did it provisionally because I told them, I said, I've been getting offers everywhere else, and somebody offers me enough money, I'm gone. Because that's business.
Yeah, you're going to go where the money is, most definitely.
Plus, I could still make the same amount of money. It's just I'd have access to talking to a certain somebody.
Yeah. My Lord.
Do you remember me? They give that hand symbol again. Do you remember me?
Wow.
Oh, somebody on the radio got talking about they just got fucked in the ass by their logbook.
Oh, no. Why is my screen getting dark again?
Yeah, that first scale house I came through this morning, Robert, and they had a guy's every door. If he had a door attached to his truck, it was open. They had his clothes and underwear laid out everywhere, all over the pavement. They tore his truck up.
Yeah.
Man, DOT's having a ball with that guy.
God, why has my screen gotten so dark?
God damn it.
Oh, that's why. Really? I didn't even touch that. Yeah, they're starting to push these planes out of Dulles now, so I guess whatever's coming through here is going to be kind of squirrely for a while. So I guess they're trying to land and get as many planes on and off the ground as they can.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to land in a bad storm with a lot of wind.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I've watched them at National Airport because there's a little park right there at the end of the runway. You can kind of sit there, and I've watched them when they come in, dude. They're coming in like sideways, like I don't know how to describe it. They're coming in. You can see them going like this as they're coming in.
Yeah, because the crosswinds are really bad.
It's pushing them sideways.
Yeah, I had to land like that when we landed in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah.
We were like sideways coming in for that landing, and we skipped a little bit and bounced around, but safe landing.
That's the way it was in St. Petersburg, Florida, too, when they had a little airport for the small planes. When they came over Tampa Bay to come in and land in St. Pete, that's the way they did it. We're coming in sideways from the crosswind.
And when we got out of the airport into a taxi, man, I felt like my pants were going to blow off. The wind was bad that day.
Just me? Does your screen look like it's getting dark?
Not me.
What is going on with my freaking display?
I'm back.
All right. Display. Well, I don't want that on because that's a pain in the butt. Adaptive, I don't want adaptive thing. Standard, apply. Vivid, screen zoom. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my screen and stop darkening.
I don't understand why they keep naming all these highways special people or whatever. You know, it used to be just strictly for police officers that were murdered in action on the roadway. Like in Chicago, the Dan Ryan, the I-94 corridor through downtown Chicago. It's called the Dan Ryan. Yeah, because the Chicago cop was murdered on the highway doing his job.
Yeah, they changed all the highways and high schools and middle schools and elementary schools named around here. A lot of them has Civil War general names. So they just Arlington and Fairfax and Alexander, all of them changed the schools' names, like Jeb Stewart and Jackson and
all the Confederate
Washington Lee High School. They changed the name of that one. Well, they took Lee out. They kept the Washington, but they took Lee out.
Yeah.
Well, Washington had slaves too.
Yeah, but he wasn't a Confederate soldier either.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anything that had to do with the Civil War is while they're attacking that. Just like the Ten Commandments, I think, in front of the Alabama courthouse.
Yeah, they had to remove that because of separation of church and state.
Yeah. But it's been there for hundreds of years. Why would it matter now?
Because nobody complained about it, and you bring something before the courts, and if they see it and it's against the law, it's against the law. You can't do it.
It wasn't an issue for 250 years, but all of a sudden it's an issue now.
Yeah, just like a lot of things, like our tax code. I pointed out.
Yep.
Everybody says you got to pay your income tax. No, you don't, because I'm pointing you to the law. 26 USA 83A specifically says how to tax the entire workforce. The overage over the amount paid is deemed taxable income. The overage, not the entire paycheck.
Right.
Well, what's your paycheck? Well, this is how it goes. This is how the courts define it. A transaction between two unrelated parties determines the fair market value. The fair market value could be anything. $1 million, 2 cents, it could be anything. Right. Like for me, for instance, I agreed to haul this load from Wilmington, Illinois to south of Detroit for $1,600 and change, right?
Yeah.
Arm length transaction between two unrelated parties. That's what I agreed to pull this load for. Yep. Okay, now, if they pay me what I mowed, that $1,600, that's not taxable. But if they say, hey, look, you got that load there on time or early, here's an extra $500. Now I'm taxable because that's an overage of the amount paid. Yeah. But I'm taxed under the overage, not the entire amount. I'm taxed on that $500.
I wish I'd known that a long time ago.
Yeah, that chapter is called Property Transferred in Connection with the Performance of Services. And I tell the CPAs, does it have to say paycheck to get your attention?
Yeah.
They said, well, in courts, they hit us with 61A. I said, yeah, what's the first sentence in 61A? Except as otherwise provided. Period. You stop right there. Yep. Except as otherwise provided. Well, that exception, 26 U.S.C. 83A, explains how to tax the entire workforce.
Did you get
and then the room gets quiet.
I was wondering if you got by whatever it was slowing traffic up. But I still see the cones, so.
No, the barrels. Yeah, they just, there was no accident. It's just bottlenecked down to one lane out of 3.
Yeah, working on the highway.
Because they got those heavy trains that come up here on the roadway. You'll see all the way down the truck is an axle. And they weigh like 180,000 pounds. That's why we call those trains.
Yeah.
But you only see them here in Michigan.
I don't know if y'all can hear all these planes rolling through.
That's a prop.
Yeah.
Sound like a prop?
It's a prop.
Excuse me.
Close to the airport.
Well, Dulles is only like 4 or 5 miles away from me.
Oh, okay.
They need to rename that because Dulles was a douche.
Well, they renamed.
Trader.
Yeah, for the longest time, National Airport. was National Airport. Now it's called Ronald Reagan National Airport.
Yeah. That was a serious mess up.
Well, I would have changed it. Keep Ronald Reagan in mind and call it the Alzheimer's Airport.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy and I are
Well,
still
nothing
searching
really
for the other
big.
half of my head.
Nothing really big goes out of there anyway. I mean, the last bad thing they had happen, and this plane was trying to get out of National. It was trying to take off during that ice storm. And I thought, who was the carrier for that?
But I'm not getting political. But I'm just
because Howard Stern got
Understand.
fired. Howard Stern got fired for that, for making that comment.
he makes millions of dollars anyway.
Well,
So
this is when he worked for DC 101 radio station.
yeah, but now he's with Sirius and he's got a $1 billion contract.
Air Florida, I think it was. And he was doing a broadcast, and he called the airline. This is after the accident. And he goes, I'd like to make a reservation. And the lady goes, what's your destination? He said the 14th Street Bridge.
Hey, Sean Tuber, how are you?
Yeah, just to remind everybody, I think it's funny how some people run things, like Trump saying that Biden's too old, and Sleepy Joe Biden, all this other stuff. He's gotten too old and everything. I'm like, Trump, you're only 3 years and 8 months younger than he is.
Hey,
So your
Sean
ass is
Tuber.
old too.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Sean's in the chat.
Now we need Sean Williams.
Oh, Sean Williams is around. Believe me, he's somewhere. he's in a live stream somewhere.
He usually is.
I haven't seen him, but that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, he's in a live stream somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, I looked at your message again. Your son is O positive. Damn. If he was A negative, I would donate bone marrow for him, but you have to have matching blood type.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've done it before, and it's not something to take lightly. Donating bone marrow is a painful motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that's putting it lightly.
Most definitely it is.
I told him, I said, I don't care how much I scream or whatever, but if you're going in, get it, and get out. Don't stop. Keep going.
Yep. Yeah, I may be positive, so I wouldn't do him any good either.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, to be all honest. I don't even know what my blood type is.
But no, I would get a load out to California on purpose just for that. Because I know how painful it is. Oh my God, yes,
Hey,
it is.
Ellie's Adventures in the.
Oh, Ellie's in the chat.
Yeah, I just wish he had matching blood types. Plus, me and you could be
What's up,
talking.
Ellie? Sorry, Sean.
But I'd have to say I'd put that probably right next to a woman giving birth without epidural.
Yeah, the
the pain.
final block of yeah. I've already made the decision. If I can't get the knee surgery lined up before I go, I'm just going.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, Robert. Since they're opening up the bases there, couldn't you go to a hospital on base and get it done there?
I could do that, or I could go to Guam.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll work.
Yeah. But
Get it
if I
done
go-
there in the
but
Philippines.
if I go to Guam, yeah, like I said, me and Sammy already talked about it. I go to Guam. Sammy's coming with me.
Yeah, you have to jump through some hoops to get that to happen, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, we just got to get her a passport and all that, and get her so she can travel over there. But I want her with me. I want her with me when I have the surgery.
Well, that's the best. Yeah. Just I know a couple of people that took their.
Because Manila, from my understanding, Manila doesn't do major stuff. It's more like a clinic than anything else.
That's what I understand. Also.
Guam is a U.S. territory, so the VA there is going to have full service.
Right. And I think, what's it, like a 4-hour flight?
Something like that, I think.
Hey, Sean. Sean, if you're talking about the procedure of giving up bone marrow, not really. I laid on my side. I had a hold of that side rail of the gurney, and they exposed my hip, and they put this big needle in there with a plunger, and they just pulling it, sucking that bone marrow out,
Yeah.
and I was in so much pain. I broke that side rail of the gurney. There was 4 bolts holding it in. I snapped all 4 of those bolts. When they were done, the nurse goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm much better." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I broke this," and I handed her the railing of it.
Oh, I remember when they were doing the spinal tap on me. I said, my God. You come around the corner and I saw the size of that needle and the gauge of it. I said, "You're out of your mind. You think you're sticking that in my back?"
Yeah, they take it out of your hip because
Yeah,
that's the most dense bone that you got in your body.
yeah.
Yeah, the femur's got the
Well, that and probably your
biggest
shoulder.
amount.
That and probably your shoulder blades are probably dense bone too.
Yeah, but I don't think it has the marrow like the femur does.
No.
Yeah. But they always go to the hip for bone marrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when they got done, man, I felt like I got my ass kicked. I slept a bit. But usually they look at family members first, and there are kids that can donate bone marrow, and I would tell them it's going to be a lot of pain, sweetheart, but I'll buy you all the ice cream you want for a year. I do something real special for them.
Yep.
Because they can't give you painkillers for it, and they can't knock you out either. Yeah, you can request it, and I did. It's a tongue suppressor for people who have seizures. They'll have you
I'll be right back. I got to mute. Sorry.
Okay. They'll have you bite down on that because of the pain.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I was cussing, but you couldn't understand it. It sounded like. I'll never forget that.
I'll bet.
And what I remember what I was saying, but they couldn't understand it. I was saying, "Get that shit and get out.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Get it and get out." Yeah, but anyway, Sean, that would save your son's life. That's why I would do it. If I had matching blood type, though. That's why I tell people, be careful about deciding on getting a tattoo. You do that, you can't donate bone marrow. I don't know why, but you can't. I never got one. I thought about getting one, never got one though.
Yep. I'll be back in a minute.
Either I missed it or whatever. Is it Sean Cooper or is it one of his kids? Sean.
Do what?
Is it Sean or is it Sean Tuber that needs it?
Sean Tuber. Sean Tuber's son.
Oh, his kid.
Yeah. At least that's what I thought his son has. He needs a bone marrow transplant. I might be wrong here. Yeah, that's why I believed in the stem cell research. because of
My
stem
friend,
cell research.
my friend actually had that. It's the best thing he ever did with his back.
Yeah, stem cell research has allowed Stevie Wonder, that has been blind since birth, he can see in shadow. Um, People that have that age and they lose their vision as they age, the stem cell research has found a way to give you a surgery like LASIK was one of them. But now they can take your stem cells and make you regenerate your eyes to where your vision is back to 20/20 vision. What they do is they take your stem cells and develop an the lens to your eye. They cut your lens out, reattach that new one from your stem cells, and you got 20/20 vision. It's really strange. I was reading about that, but because of religious people keep putting a stop to stem cell research. It doesn't stop other countries from doing it. That's why, like, the French are more advanced in medicine than we are.
Yeah, my friend's been a mechanic for 30 some odd years and had a bad lower back. And he had to go down to Florida actually to do it. But he said it was worth doing the procedure. He was out of pain for 6 or 7 months after that.
Yeah, with that stem cell research, they can grow your own organs
Yeah.
and give you a transplant with your own stem cell organ. If you need a new heart, they can grow one with your stem cells.
Yeah.
And voila, you won't need any, what's that? You won't have to take meds your whole life where your body will reject it.
Yeah.
Because it's your own stem cells, it's not going to reject the organ.
It's true. Very true.
Wow, look at that. I'm only 57 miles from Dexter. Cool. I'll get in there, park, do some shopping, and then continue on and park at the Myers and sit around there until late tonight. I deliver at 12:30 in the morning. And then once I'm done unloaded and leave, I'm taking this empty to Columbus, and then I'm going home.
I'll go spend some time with the kids.
Yeah, I'll be there a week. Because I got to do some shopping around. Tammy's going to help me try to either put one together with my laptop and everything, a karaoke thing deal. I'll just go out and buy some speakers and an amplifier, hook it up to the laptop, and voila.
Yeah, I think
Hopefully that works.
I think she stopped using her amplifier. She just uses the K1, and I think she repaired her little karaoke box that she has. That's what she was using last time.
Well, she had a V8.
Yeah,
she repaired so many times.
Yeah, she actually had an actual amplifier too, and something happened to it. It burned out. And she had two big speakers hooked to that amplifier and running it through her V8. And the amplifier took a shit.
Leonard got a tweet. At least I think that's a tweet, isn't it?
No, that's Facebook.
That's Facebook?
Yeah.
Sounds like a bird. That's why I thought it was Twitter.
Oh, it might be. I don't get on Twitter, so I don't even know what it may be Twitter.
I'm just guessing because the tone.
I thought Facebook had a notification like that too. Whatever this storm's carrying is bringing in warm weather with it too.
Well, it's 78 degrees up here in Michigan.
Well, it's starting to warm up now that this is coming through. And the planes are still scrambling to get off the ground and get landed and everything else still. So
I'm gonna stop in this Lowe's and get a coffee.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going and grabbing one myself.
There you go. There's an antique KW right there. Late '80s KW right there. Got the artillery
I think
cannons
that's
for
what
smokestacks.
I think that's what Pennsylvania trucker uses. He's got an older KW.
Yeah, but it's like pulling a brick pulling a block down the highway. It's not aerodynamic at
I
all.
think he's still got to get the air conditioner issue figured out on that before it starts getting warm. He said,
Oh yeah, definitely.
"Yeah, 'cause
But
he had the same issue with you. He didn't have heat in there for a while."
that truck gets shit fuel miles. He's lucky to get 5.5 to 6 miles per gallon,
Yeah,
which is shit.
I think it's not the only one he owns. I think he owns another one, but
I can almost double that in my Pete.
I think he got this one on a deal. That's why he snatched it up.
I'm always averaging 8 to 9s. There's a woman driver right there pumping her fuel here at the fuel island.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab me a little coffee myself.
She looks a little bit like Luca Brasi, but not too bad. I'll be right back, fellas. If anybody comes back, take over for me until I get back. I'll be right back.
my God, y'all left me up here all by myself. You still there, Leonard? I guess I'm the only one up on the panel. Sean went in to get his coffee. See if there's anybody in the chat. Well, who's ever out there, I hope you're having a good day or a good night wherever you are.
There we go. All right. Got some stuff for later on. Ugh. Trying to get it in my refrigerator. Oh, no, they're going to go this way. That's right. I'm still here, guy.
I'm here. Leonard went somewhere.
Yeah, I got to tell you all about what I witnessed in there taking a leak. I like using the urinal that's in the corner, the far corner, so I can usually lean up against the wall because I feel like I'm going to explode. It's like, well, they have those antique style urinals that are like from the middle of your waist all the way to the floor is where the drain is.
Yeah.
Somebody did some graffiti in front. I've never seen that before. And believe me, I use a lot of public restrooms every day. Somebody took a black Sharpie and wrote Budweiser on tap.
Oh.
That was hilarious when I saw that. I'm surprised Sammy didn't wake up.
Nah, it's still early for her. I think she went to bed late.
I've seen her wake up in the damnedest times, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, when she wakes up and goes to the bathroom, she'll check notifications and...
Yeah, Sean's doing a live stream. Oh, fuck you. Now I gotta wait for douchebag to get out from in front of me so I can get out of here.
Why can't you go around them?
Because if I tried that, I would tear off the people's hoods beside me or take out the bumps. I could back out, but there's so many people driving behind me, it's not worth it. Not worth the risk backing out. Yep, I think next week is the last week of school, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure when Virginia, Fairfax is the last day. I'm not sure.
Wow, that's not a bad looking middle-aged woman driving that Volvo to my right. She drives for Bison Transport out of Winnipeg, Canada. So she's Canadian. There you see it coming into view right there to my right.
That's an interesting yellow.
And she's an instructor too. We need females to be trainers. So it puts an end to the co-ed training, because co-ed training, there's always issues with sexual harassment or anything else. And believe me, women will use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
And they've caught many a women thanks to some of the trainers recording them on their phone. Saying, oh, I'm harassing her. Look what she's doing when she climbs on the top bunk in the sleeper. She ain't got no panties on or whatever, and this and that and the other. And I told them, I said, look, I cannot be placed in double jeopardy. So I am not training any females. I refused. And they said, you can't discriminate. I said, I'm not discriminating. I'm alleviating an issue that won't become an issue.
Yeah.
Because that puts me in double jeopardy, because I do not like being put in a position where a female can say anything and then I'm up on the dock can ruin my reputation. And even though you prove your case that you're innocent, your reputation's still tainted. And I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it.
It's the first time I've tried this brand. It's actually not.
And to be blunt with them, sometimes you got to be, as a trucker, I can easily be blunt. And it's like, look, if I'm going to train a female, that means I'm fucking her. That's the only female I'll train. I said, how more blunt do I got to be?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Wow, she got like a Susan Boyle build, but she's not as ugly.
What are you doing, Leonard? He's probably got his headphones off.
But I stopped training. My last student, shit, that was before I even joined YT. It was like 6 months before you guys met me on YT, or Sammy did. It was my nephew. My nephew was the last person I trained. And after him, I stopped training, period. I won't train anymore unless it's close personal friend of mine or family. That's it. I don't have to train anymore. Because, yes, you train a student, you can make a shitload ton of money. But now that I don't have a truck payment for the past year and a half, I don't need to train anymore. Me not making that truck payment is what is making up for the money I want to make. So I'm getting paid like I am training, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to make a truck payment. That's why I did the river dance out the office when they handed me my title. Woo! That's an extra $900 a week. Yes, $900 a week is your truck payment. That comes off the top. Then they deduct for what you paid in fuel, and then the rest is yours out of your settlement. So typically, truck payment and fuel, you're looking at about $1,900. And then what you make after that is yours.
Coming in hot. A Learjet.
Probably a senator.
Probably.
A senator or a
CEO.
representative.
Or CEO of the company. Yeah, that's the airport I'll be leaving out of when I leave, Dallas.
Are you getting a direct flight, or do you have to go to LAX?
Well, it's been a while since I checked, but it was like 2 layovers. It's like 35-hour flight.
Well, if you get a flight from LAX to Taipei, that's 13 and a half.
Yeah, the longest layover when I checked last time was when I got to Manila. It was like 10 or 11 hours.
Japan was like 12 and a half hours from LAX to Tokyo.
Well, if you go like Dan did and Nucky did, then if you leave from the West Coast, they generally lay you over in Thailand.
I never got a layover in Thailand.
And then
Tokyo or Taipei.
Yeah, you'll fly from Thailand to Manila.
I guess it depends on who you fly with. I flew with EVA Air both times.
Yeah, I think Dan flew with Philippine Air.
Yeah, Barry said.
The company, the plane, when I looked last time, it was that Australian airline.
Yeah, Barry told me if you want a head start with the Panays, we should fly Philippine Airlines. Because that's what works the airline is a bunch of Filipinos.
Yeah. I don't know what you're doing, Leonard.
But man, that would really wear me down. Being on a plane every damn 24 hours, flying from the USA to wherever.
They get paid good for that.
Oh, I'm sure, but man, that would wear you down.
Yeah. And you really ain't got no life. You do get to see a lot of the world and
Oh yeah.
get paid well. And then I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, Danny rode to the Philippines, screenshotted something where it was from Philippine Airways, and it was a one-way fare of like $680 something, which I said, wow, so that's cheap. But the last time I checked for myself, it was Quintos or whatever it is, that Australian airline.
Uh huh.
That's why it was so long too, like 34, 35 hours.
I do know this: when you get into a relationship with a Filipina, I'm going by what I saw with Darren and everybody I traveled with. If you're in a relationship with a Filipina and you met her in person, and you're coming back for an additional trip or whatever, that public expression, or what am I thinking of? A public display of affection. That's
Yeah.
out the fucking window. Because when I walked, I saw a blur of a Panay tackled Barry to the floor. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And she was kissing all over.
I know they just passed that law that you can't disrespect them or anything like that. Or
Yeah, but
and a few other things, it's against the law, and now you can get in trouble for it.
oh yeah, but if the Panay tackles you to the floor, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about public affection. I see Sammy, I'm gonna show my affection. I love her. You know?
But that's what happened when I was at the airport.
Now, I don't care what people say or what they do. They can kiss my ass.
And if I do get kicked out of the country, I'm making sure it's well worth it.
Yeah. You gonna throw them up on the ticket counter?
Yeah, the funny thing is Donna was the same size as Barry, because Barry's not a very big guy. Yeah, Donna can manhandle him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donna was a good woman. Although she was really strict on me. I respected her though.
There we go.
Yeah.
Granny's trying to go to sleep again. Just never happened before, except a few weeks ago I started doing this. It must have been one of my phone updates is what it is. It never used to do that in YouTube or StreamYard. It never used to do that. Yeah, but that's the most updates this phone has ever asked for. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, it's already asked for 3 updates.
Oh yeah, this happened a couple weeks ago, Robert. I believe it was in Virginia near you. This young kid, young black kid, knocked on these people's door. He was searching for an address
Yeah.
for a friend of his, and he knocked at the door, and the guy came to the door and answered it and shot him.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I'd have to Google it. Yeah, all kinds of. Well, see, dude, the thing about the area I live in, man, you got DC and everything's spilling out of DC into Fairfax, Alexander, Maryland. It's
Yeah, but you don't shoot somebody knocking at your door.
Oh no. I think maybe about 25 years ago there was a incident where a guy got out of prison and found out somehow where this state trooper lived, and knocked on his door, and as soon as he opened the door, he shot him dead right in his doorway.
Damn.
Which in Fairfax, there was a incident about 30 or so years ago where judge sentenced this one guy, and that's when they tightened up the courthouses and everything else after that, because the guy shot the judge, found out where he lived, and shot the judge.
Damn.
Didn't kill him, but he shot him. That's why they're serious about locking down these courthouses now and for protecting the cops and the judges' identities.
Well, they got to keep it all public record. They can give the name.
Well, they can't have where they live in public record. They're not supposed to anyway.
Back down eastbound, coming to a stop here.
Yeah, another narrow
Marker 123.
Another narrow into the road.
Yeah, it's bottlenecking down to one lane. But I'm looking at the arrow. We're right here to it.
Yeah, I see everything's nice and green there.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like this until early October. And it'll start getting cold again.
Unless we start having a real dry winter and everything dries up and dies.
All I know is this. I hope Lake Mead refills because of all the snowpack they got out west.
Yeah.
Is melting. And yes, a lot of rivers are flooded out west. And I'm like, good. I hope it flows into Lake Mead because it's needed bad.
I just got a bad feeling that Virginia is going to have a very dry, hot summer. Yeah, as far as winters go here, we didn't have a bad winter at all.
Yeah, we had typical Ohio winter.
Yeah, we didn't have that here. It was warmer than usual. I think we only had one snowfall, and it was like a dusting. I mean, we had some sleet and freezing rain, and that was it. And then that was the end of the winter weather.
But no, out west got so bad, especially up on 90. Yeah, in Wyoming, they couldn't move for like 3 or 4 days. That's how bad the snow got.
Yeah, Wyoming, Dakotas, all that area.
Oh, there's female construction worker right there. She's holding the slow sign. Ooh, she's kind of cute too. Blonde hair. Getting that tan, ain't you, darling? Next time, just wear a bikini. It's hot there standing out there on that pavement.
And then you will.
Another female.
Wear a bikini, then you will start having accidents.
Ooh, man, that was a nice one too. Both of them were female holding those signs. $20 some an hour, just sit there and hold that sign.
Yeah, here they got to go through classes to do that. They had to take some kind of course to do that here in Virginia. So that's why I was hurting real bad earlier, because of this stuff that's coming through. I mean, my ankle, my knee, my God.
Hold on a second. Hey, drivers, those are some beautiful, beautiful road construction workers there holding those two signs. One blonde and one brunette. Woo! Oh, I would have slowed down if I would have got a flash, or maybe if they were in bikinis. Someone said that just gets you to slow down.
Yeah, they start wearing bikinis out there, man. You will have accidents.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know they did that in Clearwater. They did that in Clearwater, Florida, with those hot dog cart girls. They'd get out there in them real skimpy bikinis, man, and there were so many freaking car accidents. It was unreal. Which they told them that they couldn't do that anymore on the side of main roads anymore. They couldn't sell cars and dress like that.
Yeah, like in Florida, you cannot wander along the beach near the roadway in a bikini. That's against the law. You will get ticketed.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was in Florida. It was in Clearwater, Florida that it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah, because they were two girls. And they were twin sisters. They used to do it right there off of alternate 19.
Yeah, when my sister lived in Bradenton and had my Indian motorcycle, and I was there, I'd hop on my motorcycle and go down to Siesta Key, and I was going along the beach there, the hotel, get a room, and then I was going to go out to the beach. I'm at a street light right next to the beach. All of a sudden, I feel somebody just hop on the back of my bike, and it was a woman. At first, I was like, whoa, and it was a woman. Blonde, beautiful, wearing nothing but a bikini and a kind of like see-through wrap thing around her waist. And she goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Just going down here to the Flamingo Hotel." She goes, "Oh, good, because I'm going to a club there. Can I ride with you down there?" I'm like, "You're on the bike, I guess so." Ram.
I went to Bradenton a few times.
Yeah, she just hopped on. I didn't even see her. She didn't say nothing. She just hopped right on the back of my bike. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
whoa.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bradenton is on the other side of the bay, over where Sarasota and all that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go south of there is Siesta Key. That's the best beach in Florida.
Well, the fishing's better on that side of the bay, too.
The reason why Siesta Key's the best is because the sand is like baby powder, and the water is clear like a swimming pool.
And Sarasota does it every year. I don't know if they still do or not, but they did. Or they had the boat races. But couldn't pay me to live in St. Petersburg, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the girl's name was.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, the girl's name was Diane, and I guess she said she had modeled. She had never rode an Indian before. She was wondering, what bike is this? I'm like, it's an Indian. Is it American made? I'm like, yeah, it's the first American made bike. She goes, it looks like a fancy Harley. I'm like, well, Harley Davidson copied off the Indian motorcycle. They just changed the front fender. I should have just dropped my shit off at the damn hotel and went to that club I dropped her off at. Probably could have maybe you got to know her and probably would have got some. Probably would have got lucky. I don't know.
Well, I'm back, guys.
Oh, okay. But I'm like, man, she's kind of risky. I don't know. I could have been a mass murderer or something. She just hops on the back of my bike like that.
I'll do a lot of girls down there don't care. Florida's got three things: beaches, pawn shops, and liquor stores.
Sounds like Vegas, except for the beaches.
I had an old guy tell me a saying one time. It was kind of funny at first when he said it. He said, you come down on vacation, you leave on probation, come back on violation.
Just like Wisconsin, you have the 4 Bs: beer, brats, bikes, and broads.
Yep.
I've never seen so many pawn shops and liquor stores in my life than when I lived down in Florida.
Yeah, but Wisconsin's the beer capital of the world. They got brands of beer that you can't get anywhere else besides up there.
Well, nowadays, so that's with the microbreweries around. There's some of those everywhere, but
Yeah, we got those like crazy around here, the microbreweries,
yeah,
especially here in the Reston area because it's kind of like a high dollar area.
yeah.
Land of Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Porsches and everything else. Why would you want to own a Lamborghini and drive it around in the city? I'll never know.
Really.
Yeah, you either got one of those if you're related to a senator or representative, or you're an escort.
Well, there's a lot of them around here that are high up in these defense contractor companies are going out and buying them.
Yeah, there were a lot of. Can't remember where it was I was working. That there were 2 or 3 guys that had Lambos, and every once in a while they drive them to work, and they'd be in the parking garage.
Yeah. I think my brother one time when he still worked for the post office drove his Shelby one time downtown in DC. And he never drove it back down there again.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That'd be like trying to drive one here in Houston, drive it downtown. Downtown Houston is terrible.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
his he keeps garage kept anyway. So
Right.
GT 500.
Yeah.
The best place to drive a luxury car with a lot of people, but not so many people, is Vegas.
Yeah.
Best place.
These
There's
guys are
traffic,
buying
yeah.
these cars because it's status. They're trying to draw women in. That's why they're going out and
that
buying these
works.
expensive cars.
Oh yeah.
Because right before you get to the airport, there's a Lamborghini dealer and a Ferrari dealer right there.
Yep.
Yeah, when I
Bentley dealer and
3 years ago when I was in Vegas, I was stuck there for 34 hours, so I rented a Lamborghini for $1,200, and I drove to the clubs, and the women were flocking to me.
oh yeah. That's the only reason they buy them around here is for that reason. I'm not going to spend over $200,000 for a car and stop and go traffic, and you're just going to carbonize that motor and you're going to destroy the car.
Well,
Yeah, I told one girl, I'm like, hey, you want to fuck the car? Just wait for the car to cool down a little bit. The tailpipe's back there.
Yeah. I mean, cars like that are meant to be driven fast. Keep them clean.
Yep.
You're right, too damn low.
If you're driving around here, well, yeah, with all the speed bumps around here too, yeah. And they're ripping half the bottom of your car, the whole bottom of your car out. But yeah,
Don't have to,
stop and go 45, 35 miles an hour and
you don't have to worry about that in Vegas because they don't have snow plows.
tear your car up around here with doing that.
Yep.
But they don't get snow in Vegas. It doesn't tear the road up.
Well, it's not that. I mean, a lot of, like you were saying, how low these Ferraris and Lamborghinis lay. There's just about everywhere you go around here into a parking lot, there's speed bumps. So,
Oh yeah. They're. It's a waste of time to have one to me. My thoughts.
yeah,
Because anywhere I've been,
I had that kind of money to spend on a car. It's going in my bank account.
if I had that kind of money to spend on a car, I'd be in Cebu right now.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It'd be in my bank account, and I'd just be in the Philippines with Sammy.
The only reason why I had the Lamborghini is because it was the only rental car place that was open at the time.
Yeah.
And I got their business card. Yeah, we'll rent you one for a day. I'm like, oh, okay, here you go. They delivered it right there to the truck stop.
That's cool.
And one of the drivers said, "What? You're going to act like Bandit now?" I was like, "No, I'm just
Well, you know, it's
going to
funny
the
you mention
clubs."
that. Yeah, there's a car that I would like to get my hands on, but when General Motors started scaling back and they got rid of Pontiac and all that, because I wanted to get one of them WSX Trans Ams or WS. Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, the high performance Trans Am. But when Pontiac went out, you could get your hands on one of them fairly cheap. But when Pontiac went out and General Motors got rid of it, them things went up like 2-3 times the value.
Yep.
And those are the rare Trans Ams to find.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the same motor under the hood as the vets do.
But they rent a lot of those high class cars out in Vegas. Yeah, they came and delivered it to me, and they came and picked it up in the morning, right in front of my truck.
You gonna spend that kind of money? Yeah, they would come and get it. And
yeah, but a lot of times rental car place, you got to go take it back to the office. Nah, they come out and get it.
Yeah.
Because what you're spending on it's why.
Yep. And what the car is worth.
Yeah.
And that was a $500,000 vehicle I was driving.
Some of those Lambos, I think the Contouche was going for like $250,000.
Yeah, I think they're way higher than that now.
No, they are now. Yeah, I'm quoting the price maybe from about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a lot more than that now. I actually watched that movie about Lamborghini and his battle he had with Ferrari. A lot of people didn't know that Lamborghini. He started out as a tracker manufacturer, and he kind of got in his head to how Ferrari was ripping people off, and he wasn't giving them, in his eyes, the best quality car for their money. And that's why he concepted a car and released his first Lamborghini, and took off from there.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed that.
Which I never got to see that new movie with Matt Damon in it with Shelby.
You're talking about Ford versus Ferrari?
Yeah. When they did the trailers for that, and he had that Ford CEO and in the car, and when he got out of the car, the guy was like, "Oh my God!" He's like he crapped himself and peed himself.
Probably did.
Yeah, I think that was the GT40 he took him in.
Yeah, I think it was a GT40 because that's the one that beat Ferrari.
Yeah, that's the first one that they put into the what do you call it? What's the race where they go 24 hours?
Yeah, Le Mans.
Yeah, the Le Mans. That's the first car that Shelby put into it.
They took first, second, third, and fifth in that.
Yeah, but I wasn't impressed by the Lamborghini at all.
No.
It had bite and kick to it, but other than that, I wasn't impressed.
No, I wasn't really. I got to drive one once because a friend had worked at a rental place that had them, and just let me come in there and late at night one time because they were open 24/7, and let me come in there late at night, and I just took it and run around a couple of blocks, But I mean, it was cool, and I would love to have drove it around town and showed off and stuff, but it wasn't that impressive.
No.
I've been in Mach 1s that were every bit as impressive.
I've been in Boss Mustangs that are straight out evil.
Yep.
Yeah. When I went to this club, it was a high-end club I went to. I was trying to talk to some of these females. I was talking to a bunch of others, but these ones that I was talking to didn't seem like they wanted me around them, like I was bothering them, right?
Yeah.
But then when I decide to leave and they're all outside and they see me getting into this Lamborghini, oh, they come running over to me and start talking to me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It was like, you didn't seem interested in me when we were in the club.
Because they see a
Yeah.
Lamborghini and they go, the dollar signs pop in their eyes. Oh, you got money. Money, money, money. That's the way these women are around this area.
Especially here in the
They're
States,
not going to
yes.
get involved with you. It depends how many zeros and how many figures you have in your bank account, and what you make.
Yep.
It's going to take a lot more than what's between your legs to get my attention. I don't care who you are.
These guys here, man, that's why they go out and buy these Lambos and Ferraris and these top-end AMG Mercedes. And
Well, you're right. That's what most of them buy those. That's why they buy them.
if I can
Either
find it,
that-
Leonard, if I can find the picture, Leonard, I'll send it to you in chat. But my friend works at Mercedes-Benz, been working for Mercedes-Benz now almost 39 years. And I remember when he sent me a picture when he unloaded it off the way Mercedes moves their high-end cars. They don't sit on a regular car carrier. They're covered and everything. And
Oh yeah.
that two-door, I think it was a V12.
Horseless Carriage has the contract to haul in those across the country.
And he sent a picture of it, and it was a special order. It was crazy because I'd never seen a Mercedes painted that color. It was like that Mopar crazy plum purple.
Oh yuck.
And he did a video of them unloading it and pulling it into the showroom. Well, it didn't go into the showroom first. It went into the garage so they could go over it. And then it went into the showroom. But that one didn't go into, it went into the garage to be out of the weather, but it was a special order. The customer ordered it.
Yeah, but I told them that those are taxis over in Germany.
Yeah, and the thing about it, what was funny is about the story I'm trying to tell is my daughter just thought a Mercedes was like a Chevrolet or anything else, that they weren't expensive and all that. And she asked me, how much does that cost? I said, go look at the window. And she walked over to the car and looked at the window on the sticker. I could hear her across the showroom going, no way. I said, yeah, $250,000.
Yep.
206. I think that car was $268,000. And
I'd ask him why.
And it had like a $9,000 gas hog tax.
Yeah, and I'd ask him, why are you charging so much? These are taxis over in Germany.
Yep.
Not this thing. Yeah, this was an AMG high performance model with a V12 in it, fully loaded.
Yeah, BMW and Mercedes, they're taxis over in Germany.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned,
Saudi.
Floren. When I mentioned Floren Rawl to you earlier in the live stream, Leonard, he's from Germany. He was exchanging.
Yeah.
He's the one that told me that when we were teenagers. He goes, those are just taxis over in my country.
Yeah,
Because you want a real car, Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari. Now you're talking hot vehicles.
Yeah, a lot of the Middle Eastern companies like Saudi and Kuwait, stuff like that. They're taxis.
Yep.
So all them sheiks that are driving them for a few years, get rid of them, they end up as taxis after that.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I was on a live chat with someone from Dubai, and they pointed out a taxi going by, and it was, I remember if it was a Mercedes, it was something like that.
Like you listen to a Mercedes now, Leonard, they don't sound like Mercedes.
No.
They sound like muscle cars from the 60s when they go by you.
Yeah.
That loud exhaust. And
Yeah.
those are like those AMG models. And wicked fast.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's been with them now 38, 39 years, working for. Went right out of high school and right out of training school. Went right to work for Mercedes and has been there ever since. Yeah, for the first time, I saw something about 3 weeks ago, and I'd never seen one. I know they existed, but it was the first one time I ever seen one. And the guy pulled up behind me, next to me, and I kind of heard it first, and I looked over and kind of glanced and then looked back again, and I was looking at the hood, and I go, huh? And it was a Rubicon Jeep,
Oh yeah,
and it had a hood scoop on it. It had one of the 392 Hemis in it.
yeah.
And I said, I never knew that they had put a Hemi in a Rubicon.
Well, Rubicon's always been a beefed up Jeep.
Well,
Anyway.
they have their own special engines that are in those and suspensions and everything else. But that's the first time I'd ever seen one with a Hemi in it.
Right.
I know that they made the Cherokees and all that, and they stuck Hemis in them. But I've never seen a Rubicon with it.
Yeah. Well, thinking about it, because they put the Hemis in the others, that would have been a logical engine to put in it.
Well, why do you need a 392 in something that doesn't weigh anything
Right.
and does not have a good center of gravity?
That's the issue right there. The
It's
center of gravity is way too high.
easy to roll with. Very easy.
Yep.
It is very easy to roll with Jeep. People don't realize that.
They learn eventually.
And I'm not talking like the Cherokees and stuff like that. I'm talking like the CJs,
Yeah.
the Wranglers, the Sierras, the Rubicons.
Yeah.
The center of gravity on them things are
Way too high.
and that's why they get all kind of squirrely on you when you're on the highway. If you go over 55, 60 miles an hour, they can get kind of squirrely on you.
Yeah.
And they want to go all over the freaking road.
Yeah, I always hated having a vehicle I had to herd down the road with a drover's whip.
Well, he's got like, I think 36s tires on his and a lift kit.
Jesus.
And he put the winch on it. He put the snorkel. He's done videos, dude, where he's had this thing all water all the way up to his windshield.
Yeah.
And this is a daily driver, too.
The only problem with that is when you get something that high, you better hope you're not where the wind blows.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he doesn't. See, he lives outside of Baltimore now, so he commutes to Arlington. So he went out and bought himself like a little 2-door Honda Civic for commuting. He doesn't put all the miles on that Rubicon anymore.
Yeah.
Thank God he's had that Rubicon now. 10 years.
Yeah, but if he goes through water that's really high, even with that snorkel, that water can still lift him and carry his ass away, and he can't go nowhere.
Oh no, he's never gone in anything that's raging or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's just like a dead still pool.
Yeah, it's just like a dead still. It's like a dead still pool that it pulls. He goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always making jokes with him because I have a Bronco and he had that Rubicon, and I stuck a sticker on the back of my Bronco that said "attached Jeep here." And he said, "Really?" I mean, mine doesn't sit quite as high as his, but I've had that thing in some pretty hairy places, and it's always got in and out of it.
Yep.
That's what gets me about these manufacturers now calling a Hyundai Santa Fe an SUV. That's not an SUV. A Bronco is an MPV, a multi-purpose vehicle, and it does everything that they designed it to do.
Yep.
I've drove that thing through a 3-foot snow, and all I did is just knock snow off of the truck and warm the truck up, put it in 4-wheel drive, didn't dig it out or nothing, and just drove right through it.
Yep.
Do that with a one of these newer, what they call SUV.
Well, most of the SUVs would never be able to handle it.
Well, they're all-wheel drive. They're all-wheel drive. They're not
Yeah.
true full-wheel drive.
Right.
I mean, I got a solid axle in the front and the rear,
Yeah.
so it pulls just as hard in the front as it does in the rear.
Actually, a little bit harder.
Yeah, it pulls a little bit harder in the front.
Because normally the front differential gear is like 1 or 2 teeth faster, or I mean,
Yeah.
lower geared.
Yeah,
Pulling a less close. God damn it! I got to go through another way station.
but you get a lot of these dummies out here to get a true four-wheel drive, and they think they can drive any speed they want on snow and ice.
Yeah.
Ain't so.
No, it sure isn't.
You drive stupid, even in a four-wheel drive, you're just going to have four wheels that are out of control.
Yep.
I got to set the headset down, guys. I've got to go through the scale house. They'll probably bypass me once I get in there, but I got to pull in.
Yeah.
I just got to set the headset down.
All right.
All right. We'll keep it up for you.
Well, I'm probably going to be stepping down here soon anyway.
Well,
Like I said, every scale house in the country is open.
yeah.
But, that's why I said it used to. And when they used the term, what kind of truck do you own? I said, a Ford Bronco. Oh, you own an O.J. Simpson. I said, no, I own a Ford Bronco.
Yep.
I said, it's not an O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of BS about that.
But before I bought that one, I had my eyes on it was a 77 Ford Bronco with the older body style.
Oh yeah.
And
They bypassed me.
The guy had stuck some monster, like they stuck a 460 under the hood.
Oh wow, that would have been something.
And had this thing jacked up beyond belief.
Oh, I don't like that so much.
And he priced it at a good price, and it was still a work in progress, but I would say it was maybe 90% done.
Yeah.
And
DOT in that Volvo that was behind the building there.
Yep.
But I got a big stink over it when I wanted to buy that, and so I didn't end up buying it. Because that thing there, I would have passed everything but a gas station.
Well, you know, I had a 460 in an 86 F250, heavy duty F250, and I got close to 16 miles a gallon.
Well, they had an F-250 that came out in the 60s and early 70s, and I forget the name of it. It wasn't a regular 250. It was made for campers and stuff like that. It had different mirrors, everything.
Yeah, that was
everything about it. Yeah, it was a different than any other 250.
Yeah, and
And,
that probably had a 460 in it.
Yeah, and they were rare. They're rare to find.
Yeah,
Most of them are rusted out or sitting in somebody's collection, or they've already been crushed.
Yeah, there were actually quite a lot of them back home.
And it just sat there; it never moved.
Yeah.
So I kept sticking notes on the windshield wiper, man, 3 or 4 times. Dude, are you interested in selling this? And gave him my phone number and all of that, because I really wanted to get my hands on that truck.
Yeah.
And finally, the last note I stuck on it, he finally called me. He said, "Are you the one that's sticking the notes on my car?" And I said, yeah, if you're calling me." He said, "It's not for sale." He said, "Can you please stop doing that?" I said, "Okay." Well, that's how I don't ever see you drive it. I said, "I never see it move." And the only thing left he had to do to that thing was sand it down and paint it. He had everything else done on it: the interior, the engine, everything. But it was a camper special because they're rare to find. It's got different suspension, different mirrors, everything on it.
Yep.
It was designed for campers. That's all it was designed to do.
Or haul the big cab or In bed ones, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it was originally designed for the in bed.
I think that was the original design.
Yeah. Because
And
my uncle had one of them step sides that he had it in bed. And I remember when they had the crank handles for jacking it up.
yep.
And I remember he missed one of the teeth for it to lock, and he let go of the handle, and the thing spun around and cracked him right under his lower jaw, man.
Oh man.
Knocked him clean out cold.
Yep. He'll do that. Definitely, he'll do that.
Well, brother, I'm Sean and Leonard. I'm gonna go ahead and step down, guys.
Yeah, I'm just a few miles away at that truck stop.
Yeah.
We've gone long enough and nobody's joining in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and end.
Last person you had in there was Sean too, Bruce.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you guys take it easy. I'll talk to y'all later, all right?
All right, brother.
man. See you.
All right, bye-bye.
Later.